Hello, everybody. Patrick here, A Question Swift, and doing a pop up on a Saturday night. That's right, Pop Up City Popcorn. And welcome to the show. See if I can bring this up. I can see if anybody joins in. I'm not sure anybody will because this is a strictly pop up. And doing a pop up on a Saturday night is probably not my best idea. Considering there's so many shows going on right now. But talking will just keep me focused and I will continue to work. So we are working right now on building banners for upcoming shows. Okay. All right. Just a disclaimer, too. Just a disclaimer, because in case someone comes in, Jim, there will probably be some football talk here. That's right. Oh yeah, yeah. So who's your guest gonna be on Saturday the May 10th? Yeah, yeah. You neglected to mention that one. I see how it's gonna roll. We're gonna be fighting for rating points. You should just get your ass up here and we could do a House of Horror on a different channel. That's right. We could call this a House of Horrors road trip. Hey Sue, how are you? How are you? Uh, um, Fantastic show today, Stephen. Wow, that was one of your best, man. That was a fun show. That congratulations, man. That was a great show. Um, Bill Obrist Jr. on the House of Horrors. Um, just an amazing show. Um, and hey, Anthony, how are you? How are you? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Anthony. Um, Fantastic show. I was that was really fun. Bill Obrist Jr. coming on the House of Horrors, and that was he's a sensational guest. He really is. He's a great human being. That's really what it is too. Uh, and that's really foremost what I really want to say is that uh, all right. So I am actually working as we talk. Even as we're talking, I'm actually maneuvering, trying to get a show booked, uh, and hopefully that I will next Friday. We are next week, I should say. We'll roll into May. We have the Friendly Men on Tuesday. We have a cell. I can't pronounce her last name. I don't want to kill her last name. I don't know how to say that. All I can say is a cell. Onatucha Eva. Oh my God. I should have Joe just come on just for that, right there. Holy cow. Eric, come up here. Eric, you want to come up for a while? You and I have not shared a stream for a minute. Uh uh okay, Stephen. Yes. Jim, see, you have ESPN, my friend, because I mentioned that. I said, just in case somebody comes in, Jim, we might be talking a little football. I already saw you coming down the internet highway, and I wanted to put a small disclaimer on there that no, we're not going to be talking all football all the time, but we might mention a couple of things. Um, oh, see, Jim. See, you have a ton of friends. We're all looking out for you. We are all looking out for row 18, plot 20. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna send this link to Eric. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Let's see. Hopefully he can come up for a little bit. I'm not going to be on all that long. I just want to come up here, and I'm going to be making some banners up as we go. Um, just to keep myself busy. I'm trying to book a show even as we speak. Hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully we'll get that done. That would be cool. And then I can start revealing more of. I could actually reveal more of what's going on with. All right, my fellow Hallmark Channel guy. Hey man, how are you? How are you? So I just sent Eric the link to if he wants to come up. So we could talk football and Hallmark. There you go. Um, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead, take your time. I know everybody's coming by and saying hi. They're surprised that I'm here. I know there's a lot of channels out there that are doing shows, so I do appreciate you guys dropping in and saying at least hello. I know that, like I said, there's a ton of shows. Normally I would not be up at this time because Stephen and Echo would be doing the House of Horrors. But they had their show started early. It started earlier, and they did an interview with actor Bill Obrist Jr. Now he is a true horror icon. He is a horror icon, but he's a magnificent human being as well. It's such an interesting. He's so interesting in the fact that he's such a deep thinker and talker, and the way he looks at life, and yet he does horror films. It's really unique, and he explained it during his interview with Steven. Hey, it's Pap Master, Pap. All right, that's right. We gotta. It's pretty cool when people come out there when they see you walk through the door, and they already have a greeting for you. They already know as soon as you walk in, instantly everybody sees Pap, and it's Pap. And I think it's just a sign of love and respect, and I love seeing it. Hopefully everybody had a good Saturday. Everybody had a good Saturday. All right, we are going to be doing. I gotta find her. So we're going to be talking to this young lady named Ria um, in May. She runs a animal rescue. Yeah, she runs an animal rescue called Spirit of Animals Rescue. So um, that's who we're going to be talking about. And I don't have a picture of her, but I really wouldn't. I'm going to see if I have one with her with one of her rescues. That might be one. Let's see. Yeah, they actually help out a lot of different animals. Wow, they help out horses, they help out dogs, they help out so many different kinds of animals. It's an amazing one. Pigs. Oh, God, look at that, so cute. Oh my God, just stop with that. That's what I'm going to go with right there. You. All right. So part of the things I know some of you have heard this before, but of course we got to do banners for every show that we do, right? We got to make up banners, and so what I do is I try to find a picture I think is appropriate, and then I grab it, and then I go ahead and make a banner out of it, and then I launch it. And actually launched my banner first in Instagram. I do it there first. I write out the whole thing, then I lock it in, and then I move it from Instagram. Then I move it over to StreamYard and YouTube. Um, Me too. We've had some. We've had, I'm not sure. I'd like to say we have three dedicated animal rescuers on the while we interviewed. I don't know what happened to one interviewer, one animal rescuer. I know that she had plans on doing a rescue, and all right. Oops. Oh. Oops. All right.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey, hey. All right. Here we go.
how you been, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How was your day?
It was actually pretty nice. My daughter just turned 12 on Tuesday, so she went out with my aunt and you know painted the town type of thing. So she had fun. So it was nice, nice little relaxing Saturday. Uploaded a video just now and just figured, you know what? Since you said you're not going to be on very long, I
Yeah,
take you up on your
fun.
little offer to shoot the shit for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been up 10 minutes now. What's 50 minutes? An hour will be enough. We'll just
Yeah.
talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. Right now I'm doing banners. I mentioned I'm doing an animal rescue interview in May.
Oh, okay.
Um, with this young lady named Maria, and she has a rescue in Bakersfield, California. And so I asked her for an interview, and she was gracious enough to say yes. Um, we've had animal rescue folks on Eight Questions with Calvin Tucker, who has a rescue in Alabama, and then we talked to a young lady named Brenda who runs
Mm-hmm.
a awesome rescue. And then we've had some art people who've done art, and they donate their proceeds to various animal rescues. But as far as dedicated rescues go, this will be our third one. Um, I would say fourth, but I'm not really sure what happened to the third person we interviewed. They were like on the edge of getting their
Mm-hmm.
sanctuary up and running, but I don't know if she ever did. So
That's
it's
awesome, dude. Good for you. I like how you're when you do your interview series, it's not just like with content creators online. It's people that are just trying to do good in the world. And animal rescues is one of like I think the best things you can do. You know what I mean?
me too.
So good for you, like getting the word out on their I guess you'd say facilities and what they do. So that's awesome.
Yeah, especially in this economy, and especially in this economy, we're starting to see the same thing we saw during the recession, and that
Hmm.
was we're seeing a lot of animals being discarded because their owners can't take care of them anymore.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's before it's always natural disasters, but it was and the recession happened the same way. People just
Hmm.
couldn't, and so I see various animal rescue groups, and they are just getting crushed.
Yeah.
Um, it's really it's just a labor of love. I mean, it's so sad because they're trying to. The thing is, it's really really hard for a rescuer to. They always want to rescue everything, everybody.
Hmm.
They want to rescue every animal they see.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not always feasible,
Hmm.
and you see a really badly hurt animal, and your heart goes out to it, and you want to
Yep.
rescue it, and you sit there and go like, well, do you want to go in $2,500 in debt for an animal that might not make it,
Hmm.
or do you help them cross over, save that money for the ones that you can save, that you can
Hmm.
bring back and adopt? I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know if I could do that for very long.
It's tough, dude. Like I've never. I'm not saying I'm not an animal lover, but I've never been like an animal guy. I've had cats, I've had dogs growing up, but a lot of people need to realize that if you take on that type of responsibility, those animals you're going to bond with, and they're going to end up being a part of your family. So you got to realize that it's like having a child. So you're going to have to take on that responsibility when it comes to finances,
Yeah.
feeding, because they can't take care of themselves,
No.
and that's a big commitment. And the thing is, it's also not fair to the animal if you bring them into your life and you can't care for them properly. Like
Yeah.
we have a couple shelters, maybe 10 minutes from my house, and we don't really have the funds to donate at the moment, stuff like that. But what my mother-in-law likes to do is her and my daughter, their little thing like getting together is like they like to knit, and sew and stuff. So they'll make pillows and blankets for the animals at the shelter. So at least they have something, comforting to lay on or stuff like that. So I
You-
mean, yeah, yeah,
you
little
know,
things like that helps.
Oh, tremendously. I can't tell you how many times where I've actually talked to an animal rescuer, and that right there is some of the things they need the most.
Hmm.
Blankets. So they ask for donations, for clothes donations, like old towels or from the bathroom or whatnot. They ask for that, old T-shirts,
Hmm.
anything an animal can lay down, because most of those shelters are just freaking concrete.
Yeah,
And it's like that's no place for it. And I can't tell
uncomfortable,
you.
cold on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. You see cats inside their cages, and they don't have any comfort. And
Hmm.
this you see them sitting in their litter box. That's not
Yeah.
healthy.
No, it's
So
not
that's
helping
a
at all.
that's a tremendous gift that your daughter and does. I mean, and it teaches young people too how to give back. To
Hmm.
have compassion for the less fortunate.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it means Paladin. I always say Paladin was a rescue, but
Yeah.
he didn't. I didn't rescue him. He rescued me. That's for damn skippy.
That's
Uh,
that's how it is a lot of times, dude. You don't realize it. Like one of my friends who I'm gonna have on the once I get out of this little funk of mine and get focused. One of my friends on my I got scheduled for one of the interviews. We're gonna talk about animals because she rescued an animal that was abandoned. Like she found it in a dumpster. You know what I mean? And she was
mm,
going through some serious shit at the time, and she realized how she didn't realize until later on how much that dog rescued her from her life, bringing in just as much as she rescued it. And she's just been an animal lover ever since. Like her main job now is just walking dogs and stuff like that, so she can still help with animals and be around them. You don't realize that.
yeah, we have two shelters near me.
Hmm.
One is the Westland Animal Humane Society, um, and I volunteer. I try to volunteer over there.
Hmm.
I tried. I tried. I lasted a week. And it was a combination of everybody that worked there hate people.
Yeah.
They hate people. I mean, I'm just like, every time people come up there, and they would just be like, they just hate it. If you go inside of a shelter, a kill shelter,
Hmm.
you're gonna get an attitude. You
Hmm.
you are gonna get an attitude. I guarantee it. You will get, and it's not personal. They hate you. They hate me. They hate the next person behind us.
Yeah.
They hate us all. They're equal opportunity. I hate people
Hmm.
because they've seen so much.
Yeah.
And they put me on there, on the intake, and people ask me, says, well, what was the hardest part about it? Was it the animals being put down?
Hmm.
And it really wasn't. That wasn't the real hard part. The real hard part was working the intake.
Hmm.
Oh, I just
Seeing
yeah.
how many animals a day or however are
I
just
mean, they're just
unable
a
to be
bad.
cared for. Yeah, I get that big time, dude.
And they come in there and they sign over their animal. We sign over their animal, and especially dogs. Cats feel it too, but dogs, they're,
Mhm.
when you see their owner or their, owner, they're walking out, and the dog's standing there looking at the owner getting in the
Yeah.
truck. I mean, all of a sudden you just look at that. You look at that all day, and all of a sudden it's like, I hate people. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes, during the time that, people can't,
Yeah.
they can't. And the only thing I would tell them is at least try to
Mhm.
find a no kill shelter. We have one about 15 miles away from me, and that's where I got Paladin at,
Mhm.
the Dixboro Animal Shelter, and it's a no kill shelter. Every animal they get, they keep
Mhm.
until they find a home for them. And as you can know, it's I mean, once they're filled up, they'll try, but it's very, very difficult. But they have a ton of volunteers. It's next to Ann Arbor, which is probably one of the top 10 cities in Michigan as far as
Mhm.
incomes go. So they do get a lot of help, but still, you know, um, when you go in there, if you go and you want a dog, which really sucks about that, because I took my neighbor, he wanted to get a dog,
Mhm.
so I told him about Dixboro. We drove down there, and like 90% of the dogs down there. I told him this too when we went. I says you might want to go someplace else, but because about 90% of the shelter is going to be pit bulls. And we drove down there, and about 95% of it was pit bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People got them as puppies. They grew up. All of a sudden, they're no longer lovable.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't do what the fine governor of South Dakota did,
What's that?
which her name is what's her name, Christine Naum or whatever her name is. So she wrote a book, and in her book she wrote about how she had a puppy of 14 months and couldn't train it, didn't want to train it, didn't take any time with it, and I guess the dog was just too rambunctious at a party. And so the governor, the future governor, the now present governor of South Dakota, took her 14-month-old dog, put it in a concrete pit, a pebble pit, and killed it, shot it.
See, I don't get how you can't just look into finding a shelter or something like that. It boggles my mind. Like, I understand, like, if people abandon animals because they can't take care of it, but why can't you at least put in that little bit of an effort to find someone else who probably could care for it, who has the time, who has the patience? That just makes me think about what if this fucker has kids? You know what I mean?
I
What are you
don't
gonna
think.
do with a screaming obnoxious baby or a
Oh,
2
I
or 3 year
know.
old? You know what I mean?
Oh, just telling you what she is. She is the Republican governor of South Dakota, so
Hmm.
that's no secret. But that's the way it is, though. It's like it's pro this until it impacts them,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, then it's like, oh well, that's not me.
Yeah.
Those rules don't account for me. And she put it in a book, and it's just like I'm just like, wow. I think even some people on the other side, they like animals. I'm not
That
really sure how they're going to take that you took a 14-year-old dog, a
yeah.
14-month-old dog, and killed it.
That shows that it doesn't matter which side you're on. Evil is evil, and that's just disgusting act. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Plain and simple.
um,
Republican, Democrat, neither. That's just that's
it's just sad. It's
yeah.
just absolutely sad, and it's just like, wow. And that's what happens. It's like you're right. I mean, but of course, some of the rescue groups or whatnot, they get livid at that too, because it's
Hmm.
like, I'll tell you this story though. This
Hmm.
is an amazing story that I saw. So there's this young man on YouTube. His name is Spencer,
Okay.
and he runs a very successful YouTube channel, well over 1 million people, getting close to two. And so he's able to do this. He has his regular lawn business, landscaping business. He
Okay.
has his regular clients, but then like once a week he'll go out in his truck and he will find a house that needs some love. It's overgrown with weeds, grass, drives the property value down, increase
Hmm.
pests, whatnot. But he will come up there and clean and cut for free these houses, makes them presentable. A lot of them are abandoned.
Hmm.
So no one's doing it. The city can't do it. This is down in Texas. The city can't do it, so he'll do it, and he makes videos. And oh my gosh, these houses, Eric. I mean, you could hide a battalion in them. That you
Yeah.
wouldn't. You can walk up from the sidewalk to the front door, and you would never know that there were a battalion of soldiers there because
Yeah.
you can't see it. Well, this is what he does. He cuts this grass for free. He'll
Hmm.
go out there and he'll cut it for free. So he's out there and he's working, and lo and behold, there's an injured cat, and this cat's really hurt because
Hmm.
he's out there with all this with this weed cutter, and he's got his tools, and the cat's just laying there. It's not moving. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, whatever you want to do. Um, so he immediately he tries to call the city up there. He say, hey, what do I do? I got an injured cat. Can you help me? And they're like, no, we can't. We don't have anything for you. And so he's looking online and he finds this rescue. He calls the rescue and says, oh yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him. Yeah, come bring him in. Bring him in. So Spencer puts this cat in the truck, and he takes him to the rescue. The rescues, it's one of those really small rescues that struggling for every penny and everything
Right.
else. And so he comes on in there. And he says, can you help this cat? And they're going, sure, come on in. and says, the pet, we'll take care of the pet, the vet bill and whatnot. And Spencer's like, well, let me see if my friends can help out.
Mm-hmm.
He turns to his followers on YouTube. He says, can we help this out? Can we help these people out? I don't know exactly how much money they got, but I can tell you one thing. I think I actually want to say it was between 150 to $200,000.
Wow.
They got a ton of new equipment. They got a brand new van. I
That's
mean, they have.
awesome.
Oh yeah,
And
and
that just goes to show that, there actually is good in this world. Like you and me, we had this conversation just yesterday. I was kind of bummed and you were checking in on me.
sure.
Everybody has these fucking tough times, but then you see someone just out of the goodness of their heart just do something like that. You know what I mean? He didn't have to. And that's just amazing how much good can come from just a little act of kindness like that.
Oh, the people were just blown away. Um, they decided that this this cat was named I don't think it was named Spencer. I think it was S&R because that's his company's name. So SSR, and so they decided that they're going to keep him. He's going to be like an ambassador for the rescue.
Hmm.
And so that's amazing. He has his spot, and the people love him. They always are asking about him on their own YouTube channel or their Instagram. They're all like, people are like, how's he house a cat? And how could I contribute? This is a gift that keeps going. It
Hmm.
just didn't happen just at one time. People keep on donating to the sanctuary, and so they're able to help out that much more animals. But just the power of good for just one,
Oh yeah.
instead of trying to get likes and exploiting people for social media fame. Like, I
Yep.
see that too, right? I
Oh
see
yeah.
people, have the camera out there and they'll walk up to somebody and give them $100.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for out of the heart. They're doing it for the to the fool behind them that's
Oh,
filming
you
it.
you
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 know,
could you could tell that all the time that a lot of this, like if there was no cameras, they wouldn't be giving a crap.
oh,
They're trying to make themselves feel good and look good in the public eye. You know what I mean?
right.
And you could tell they're one of those people that wouldn't give two shits behind closed doors.
No, but
No.
it's worth $100 to go out there and give 5 people $20 a piece, or buy them a lunch bag. Just make sure you have the camera on me and we
Hmm.
can film this.
Yeah.
These other people they're in no condition. They'll sign anything they're put in front of here. Sign this release form, okay? So I can
Hmm.
give you some food, okay?
Yeah.
So it's like that just makes me sick,
It's like
But
I see those, like, sometimes I'll go on Instagram, just watch these type of reels or whatever you call them about people doing good. But then you have the one person who will walk by. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay for 200 tacos from the taco truck and give them out to the homeless people." Do you really
right,
have to tell the people behind the counter that this is why you're doing it while you have the camera on? Oh, and then pick one of my followers, and we'll do something for them. Like, that just seems fishy to me. Like, it's great that you're feeding these people at this time, but in my opinion, makes you look bad when you have to tell people why you're doing this. I would rather say, hey, buy all this food. Don't tell the people why you're doing it, and then just go hand them out, because it just makes it seem like you're pulling for attention. You're pulling for likes.
yeah. I mean, it's like, if you're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, then and why do it? You
Hmm.
know, because believe it or not, you're not really fooling that many people.
No.
You really not. You look at some of the content, some of the comments being said. People realize what you're doing, and
Yeah.
it's disgusting. It's like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Just do it turn off the camera.
Yeah. Do it
You
because you
know,
want to.
yeah.
Plain and simple.
So, but that's what people did for Spencer. They just came out there and says, "Hey, can we help these folks? I mean, they're taking care of this cat. What can you do? What can we do to help them?" And then, poof, next thing you know,
Yeah.
you see the follow up video, and there's a brand new van out there. They're gonna get it
Hmm.
all tricked out to help more animals. And then
Hmm.
that was not easy. That's you're looking at the van was probably at least, I don't know if it was brand spanking news, but it was new enough, and they were tricking it out, and it must have cost at least 50,000,
Wow.
easy, without a doubt, probably 50,000.
Wow.
Probably gonna. I think they're gonna put a spay and neuter clinic in it.
Hmm.
And of course they run TNR programs too, most good ones too.
Mm-hmm.
And the other animal rescue group that I follow three or four. I follow Calvin,
Mm-hmm.
of course, and I follow Flatbush Cats in New York.
Okay.
I love Flatbush Cats. Those guys raised enough money to open up a nonprofit because veterinary care, Eric, is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I can imagine.
it's absolutely it's before it'd be like $20 to get your cat fixed.
Right.
Maybe a wellness check would be like $70. Take your dog in once every 2 or 3 years, get a wellness check, $70.
Mm-hmm.
Cat, my last time I took Paladin for a wellness check, it cost me $105 for a wellness.
Jesus.
$105.
Wow.
And it's just when Paladin passed away, and this was the one that got fried my ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this one clinic, and he was dying. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he had, I knew it, and
Yeah.
so I brought him in, and they did X-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, they did digital X-rays, digital. No,
Really.
no, no, no old-fashioned X-ray with a film and a
Mm-hmm.
developer. Digital.
Yeah.
It cost me $300 for that.
Wow.
I told him, I says, why are you charging $300 for a digital X-ray? It's
Mm-hmm.
not even, it's like, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Why so much? I mean, it's just, well, that's the cost of the equipment. I'm like, $300 for a digital X-ray. I would understand it if they came in with the old X-ray.
Yeah. The old school machines. Yeah.
I would have nodded my head and go like, okay, yeah, like going to the dentist, the old dentist. You could hear him putting the X-ray slide in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could hear him slide in there. You knew that that was your, and they show it to you, and there's the X-ray, the old plastic on the old plastic.
Yep.
You see that now it's all digital, and they're still charging you the same price for an old-fashioned one.
You get these these upgrades in technology to make it easier, to make it quicker, to make it cheaper for the people that need it. You know what I mean? But you're still raking them over the coals, and
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling, man. It's just insane how it is out there with everything, and that's why it's just everyone's struggling, man. No matter what you do, everyone's struggling because
Oh.
like, we went to get my daughter a cell phone last night, and we found out that we're gonna change our plan because we were just getting raked over the coals with every little charge on just phone insurance. And the guy behind the counter, we just went to Walmart, but the guy behind the counter says, "Yeah, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need that." All these charges, which we're going to go to the Verizon store and like fix everything. He's like, "Dude, they're charging you like an extra $80 a month for stuff that we don't need. But if they find a way to charge you, they'll do it."
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. I mean, it's absolutely insane what and nothing's really getting better either.
Right.
Nothing. It wasn't supposed to all sort of relax after the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, and it feels
Mm-hmm.
like it still feels like the pandemic has met the recession at the
Yeah.
corner. Now they're having a brawl. It's like,
And see, that's why I always say, man, I don't ever delve into politics on my channel, anyone else's. And because I'm one of those guys that I know that they're just they're just feeding you lines so they can get your support type of thing.
uh-huh,
They're bad on both sides, and the only ones
yeah.
suffering are the everyday man, the blue collar, like you and me. You know what I mean?
So I do got to say though the one thing though, man,
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of crazy. We're deep diving into some serious shit, but
Mm-hmm.
God, like you know what? But holy shit, isn't it sort of refreshing though? Actually, once in a while, they actually have an adult conversation without actually noticing. I mean, oh,
How
I
many
mean,
Patrick? How many times have I told you my ongoing? I have two things that I always say, whether it's on my social media or my YouTube channel. Is when it's movie wise, I always say remake everything. You know why? Because you could always have a good movie type of thing, or
mhm.
civil conversation is dead,
Oh, I
and
miss it. I
and
miss it.
that's
I
the
miss
thing.
it.
And you could just find that on fucking YouTube. You know what I mean? Just discussing movies. Nobody can sit down like a I'm sorry I'm swearing so much on your channel, but no one can sit down, like a fucking adult and just have a conversation, even with opposing viewpoints. You know what I mean? It's like this, Patrick. If I disagree with something you're going to say, am I going to turn you around by just yelling at you and screaming at you and name calling? No. When you're having a debate, you can be, I don't want to say forceful, but you can be, no, it's like this. If you do this, you can stand up, you can be a little loud, but once you start the yelling and the screaming, how are you going to win that person over?
No,
Convince them, educate them. Then you might flip a switch and they're like, you know what? That's a good point. But when someone starts yelling at me, I'm just like, why even bother?
I tell you one thing. I did learn one thing. I did learn from listening to your latest podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! I got to tell you, that was fun.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, because I noticed one thing. I noticed that on the podcast you mentioned that I'm not going to tell you my social media. You have to look for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of going like, why is he doing that? He should actually put out a social media, or at least his social media should put out this podcast, because I really wish more people would listen to it, because it's absolutely hilarious.
Well, the reason why I don't promote that one is it's kind of like when you had me on for the 8 questions. We don't want to kind of give the person it's about any type of notoriety. You know what I mean? Because this person is just so negative in his life, and he's just a bad person. Like, there's people, we can have bad days. We could sadly take it out on people, who don't deserve it. But this is just a mean, vindictive person that I choose not to promote.
I just wanted to see people I didn't see so much promoting him, because no one knows who he is. No one's going to look for him. I just want to hear people hear you talk about, read the book. That is absolutely, I mean, if you're having a bad day, a shitty day, just a messed up day, you really need to go ahead and listen to you read this book. It will lift your spirits super high. And I don't think you give him 1 ounce of power at all in doing it. I don't.
If you want, I can promote it real quick.
Yay.
Okay, me and Patrick know this. We'll give you a rabbit hole. You guys go down the rabbit hole yourself, okay? Because you guys will have plenty of material. There is, and he's been mentioned before when you had Alan Elberson on. So it's not like he's new to the podcast. There is this, air quotes, author named William Pattison, and he wrote young adult novels back in the mid 90s, Friday the 13th related. And me and Patrick both met the guy online, and like everyone that goes into his life, it ends negatively. But what happened with me, it was a situation where a line was crossed, and it's still ongoing today. And what I decided to do was, I'm just like, fuck it. I could either get mad and deal with it, or, me, Patrick, I kind of like to poke the bear in my own little sarcastic, funny way. I decided to create my own podcast that I never promote it. I don't promote it on my channel. I don't promote it on anyone else's channel, because this guy is just so vile. You know what I mean? But it's called The Extra Wide World of Willie. And what it is, at first, it was me delving into our history on him, the negative stuff, the stuff he said towards me, towards my family, towards my daughter. And I explained it, and you've listened to the episodes, how me, I have receipts for all this stuff.
Yep.
And then I was just looking for, another way to kind of keep the podcast going, because I was running out of material from the stuff that we dealt with. So I thought, well, this guy claims that he is a very successful author, and not to knock the people that do this, self-publishing out of Amazon.com isn't really making you a successful author.
No, I thought that with other people. Yeah.
So I decided what I'll do is I will read his books, the ones that he's given out for free online, that you can just go and download, so that way I'm not getting any laws broken or anything like that. And I'm just reading them as they are written. in my own little way. Like I'll read it exactly how he misspells it. If he has like 3 or 4 spaces in between the words, I will say that in between reading it. You know, if there's no punctuation and it's a run-on paragraph, I will read it just like a run-on paragraph type of thing. And it's just my way of kind of poking the bear, you know, type of thing. Plus showing how this vile human kind of, you know, he's one of these people that kind of deserves to have this
Oh,
type of negative.
honestly, he's probably the number one person I've met since I've been on, since I've been doing the, either YouTube or my blog. He is the number one reason. I mean, if I could sit there and say who's the most vilest
Mhm,
person that you've met, he
mhm,
would be he would be there with a bullet.
yeah,
Yeah, he is that bad. I mean, I've seen some assholes since then, but nothing like him.
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah. And like I said, we've all had bad days. We've all had, you know, oh, like I could have a bad day right now, and I could be taking it out on you, or you know, Lady Val in the chat, you know, because her and I kind of go at it because she loves Halloween '78, and I just think it's kind of
I
yeah,
know.
you know what I mean. But that's friendly.
I
That's friendly banter. That's what it
yeah.
is. But this guy, like, he is legit. He wakes up, he hates the world, he wants people to suffer with him, and he doesn't even care if it's children that he has to bring down to his level. He makes lies, false accusations, he's threatened people online. You know what I mean? He's stalked celebrities, you know, because you know me, Patrick, I do my research. I'm not one of those type of guys that just sits down and just lets them run away with it type of thing. I'll get online, and if I have to, I'll be online for like 2 or 3 hours just to find that one little nugget of information, type of thing. And it's just like there's friendly banter, or there's just being a disgusting human being and not caring who you bring down with you.
He's incapable of it. He really is. He's incapable of having. He's incapable. I really believe that. I think he is the definition. I mean, he really is, and I think he's the definition of a junkyard dog.
Mm-hmm.
He will bark loud, but if you take a step toward him, he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna he's gonna get all.
Yeah.
You don't have no attention for him, but he's gonna growl and snap at you, even if you're giving him a meal. You know,
Well,
you can give.
there's the type of thing that he he's used to people getting tired of him and then just kind of just, you know, throwing their hands up and walking away.
Yeah.
I'm almost 43 years old. Boy, I could still act like I'm a 12-year-old and be childish too. You know what I mean? Like there was one time when he, you know, he calls me a stalker. Here's the thing: I don't stalk him.
No,
You know
not.
this for a fact, Patrick. People
Yeah.
send me his information and I run with it because I
I
could care less.
volunteer. I volunteered every other week. I'm going like, have you heard? Have you seen this? Because the way I look at it is, I feel like it's our moral
Hmm.
responsibility to keep him in check.
Hmm.
Like he breaks out. If he breaks out and starts posting somewhere, and one of us finds out, we need to go tell you,
Hmm.
so you can just, so you could go ahead and, like that one website that went up,
Hmm.
and he was like one of the first people on it.
Yep.
And I found that out, and I'm going like, "Oh, I got to tell Eric." And I went up
Yeah.
and told you, and
Less
he
than
was
48
gone.
hours, I had him booted off the site, didn't I?
Yep.
Because he's that type of person, man. And
Yeah.
it's just it's just sad to see how people can be like this. But the thing is, there was one time, like I said, he claims I'm a stalker, but it's interesting. Like he'll always throw out all this information about me that he's literally just pulling out of his ass. You know what I mean? He's making it up, and he probably will think that, you know, I'll think nothing of it. There was one time when he made a Facebook post because, you know, I'm blocked from Facebook, so I can't see what he's saying. Right? Sure. Right. And the information still gets sent to me. He made something how he did he claims through his research, which, you know, if I do research, it's stalking. If he does research, it's okay, right? He says I was a high school dropout and this and that. So guess what? You've seen the video I made on that other channel. I pulled out my high school diploma and showed the dates of a graduation and everything like that. So that's the type of thing. That's why he never mentions me again, type of
That-
thing, because I always shoot him down. And that's the problem is when I came into his life, he probably didn't realize that I can be just that petty, You know what I mean?
Um,
I could be just that determined.
I
So
guess in a sense, I'm thinking about this. I'm looking at my chat here. Hi, Spooky. Spooky Kisses is here. Hell yeah.
that was a great interview. That was a great
You
interview
you,
with her.
you got to jump on that train and interview them for you. You got
Hmm.
we got to get them on your channel for you to
Hmm.
interview them because that's an amazing interview.
Yeah, that was
They're-
really good. I had it on in the background the other night, just cleaning and stuff, and she's so cool. You know what I mean? Laid
oh,
back and down to earth and fun.
oh my gosh, it's so excited. It's so exciting to talk about something. Because to me, I feel like they're right on the cups of something big.
Hmm.
Like I've been talking to people who do cosplay. Like I finally got to talk to cosplayers. And
Hmm.
I talked to and then I got to talk to Vale and the Variant and some of the content creators. Sometimes they dress up and whatnot,
Hmm.
and it's just amazing how freaking popular it has gotten every year.
Hmm.
Every time we always talk about Halloween, is expanding, and it's like we always hear that every year, but now you can actually physically see it.
Hmm.
Like going to conventions and seeing cosplayers there. They're being invited.
Yeah.
No longer. That's the thing. To me, that's a sure sign of that you're doing something right. Is when
Hmm.
the people that were taking money from you are now turning around and giving you the money.
Yep.
You know, and
They look
and
forward to seeing you, is what it is. Yeah.
Yes. Talking to Spooky, and seeing all the owners of all the various haunts that want them to come out there and do a show on their haunt.
Hmm.
I mean, they have more people wanting them to come out to do it than they have time to do it.
Right.
It's that's before be going around going like, hey, could we come on in and maybe walk around and do your haunt,
Hmm.
film it. Well, what for? Now it's like, now it's email, every week going, hey, we come back, we had that in our interview. There are two people turn around saying, are you going to come back to the certain haunt? And they're
Hmm.
like, well, we already covered you, but come back, come back.
Yeah.
And to
See,
me,
that's cool. It's like starting a band. When you're starting a band or or a stand-up comedian, you're usually doing that stuff for free for the first couple years. You know what I mean? And then eventually, when you show how talented you can be, people will come to you. You know what I mean? As long as you stay determined and don't give up, people
right.
and like improve on your craft. You know what I mean? They'll come to you. And what I liked about your interview with Spooky is it was just cool to finally see, because there's a lot of BS going on a lot with YouTube and just YouTubers against YouTubers and all this stupid bullshit. It was nice seeing someone who was she was so fucking down to earth and happy.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
Agreed. And yeah, you just it's funny you mentioned that too, because before I was actually thinking this has like been one of the most peaceful times since I've been on the tube. I just like totally like it's peaceful. It's like I
Hmm.
don't know anybody who's dogfighting with anybody. I haven't
Right.
not for a long, like I'm like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is cool. And just just so you think that, it's like, wow, this is how it should be,
Hmm.
community together and all of a sudden I get this ping going like there's a dog fight going on. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
none of that. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to hear I was like, what are they fighting for? They're friends.
Yeah.
But there they are, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, can't we just get along for
Yeah.
just like 6 months?
That's why what's the point? Here it is. What's the point? Especially if you're a YouTuber. You know what I mean? What's the point of arguing over something as stupid as a live stream or content or anything? It's not worth it. I mean, what's it going to if you have people who always come to your channel and they like your content, guess what? They're going to keep coming back no matter who's doing this when or you know what I mean? And it's not like I hate to sound morbid when it's all said and done with us. We can't take any of this stuff with us.
No,
So why don't you just try to live life to the fullest and just try to have fun? Because I hate to say, I could walk out for the mail right now and get hit by a car.
hopefully not.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. For as an example, I mean, what's the point? There is no point of getting arguing over something just lame like YouTube. We're here in this community to talk about what we love, whether it's you doing interviews or Spooky doing her cosplay, or like you the people who are talking about their animal shelter, or people making fucking cooking videos. You know what I mean? That's what YouTube is about. YouTube is to sit down as a hobby. In my opinion, I keep saying it's a hobby. It'll never be a career. We're not all going to be Logan Paul, or Joe Rogan. Stop it.
Oh,
Meet people with similar interests or dissimilar, but sit down, make friends for 2 to 3 hours a night. If you want to live stream every night, that is great. But just sit down and shoot the shit. YouTube should literally be water cooler talk. Hey, Patrick, I saw this movie yesterday. I really liked it. Eric, I thought it was garbage. Why? And then boom, 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 you can have this little talk. Maybe I can convince you. Maybe you can convince me I'm wrong. But there's no point of getting, mad over someone live streaming at this time or someone discussing this, after you're discussing it. It's just take yourself out of that situation, which is what I've done.
I like that. I like that. I like what that. I'm
It's
feeling
just
you on that. I'm feeling you on that.
it's just not worth it. I don't
It
care.
wasn't.
I,
No,
I
it
have
wasn't.
I have my select group of friends, that I am with every week. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Whether it's you, whether it's Knight, whether it's Mike, what I'll bring up, Mayanne, she's in the chat, Val, our little group, you know what I mean? We follow the same people. And sometimes somebody can't make this stream. So guess what? There's a replay, right? They could always go back and watch it. The problem
Right.
is sometimes people get so obsessed with their content that it overflows or overpowers everything. It's just
Yeah.
YouTube, buddy. It's
Yeah.
just YouTube. It's
Everybody.
what were
Everybody
you and
wants
I just
to.
talking about like 20 minutes ago? There are animals getting abandoned. It's sometimes I'm having a hard time putting food on my plate and taking care of my kid. I have other things and more important things to worry about than two people fighting on YouTube. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. Get rid of the negativity. And the problem is, some of these people who are, like you say, you get a ping. Oh, do you know this guy is fighting with this guy? Why are you telling me? I don't
Yeah.
care.
I was just really surprised. I was like, wow. I'm like, I thought they were friends. I thought they had squashed their beef
Yeah.
and things were copacetic, and it's like, wow. I'm just sort of bummed out by that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like. But that's, I guess some people, they have to have that drama in their life. And,
Mhm.
that's the same thing with Willie. That's Willie. Willie could never live with people who are normal and nice and calm. He has to have that drama every,
Yes.
you look at his saying every week on his Facebook page. Oh, he's saying shit, hateful shit every single week.
Mhm.
Every week. He needs that. That's what he
Yeah.
thrives on. It's just like, wow, you can only thrive on that so long before the engine blows. And
Yeah.
and his, and I hear his carburetor and his points are knocking.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just
he,
like I said, we're every single person here is struggling in one way or another, whether it's mentally, physically, financially. I'm speaking for everybody, like in my little community, whether it's this chat here or chats of or on other channels, no one knows what a person's going through. So why do you want to bring that negativity into this like safe space? You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like I said, this is where people are supposed to come together, have fun, shoot the shit. Like I was in the chat of a live stream the other night, and I'm not gonna say basically what happened, but someone was insulting another person in the chat just because they didn't get along. What's the point? What calling someone a moron like in a chat because you're not following the rules and staying on point of the subject. You know what I mean? And you're trying to,
Oh, yes, I caught that too.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, yep.
What does calling someone a moron make you make it look? It makes you look like the moron, makes you look like the asshole, and then
And
you get mad when like they boot you or some bullshit.
Yeah, I
It's
was gonna say,
it's not worth it.
and that's gonna earn you a hard ass kick in the ass too
Yeah.
by the person. And I know the person who doing that,
Mhm.
and I don't want to get kicked in my ass by that person.
Yeah.
That would leave a big size. That would leave a boot on my ass. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah. Be
there
nice.
there's so much negativity in the world, man, and like I said, we're all here just to have fun, and it just boggles my mind, people going at each other's throats over like stupid shit like professional wrestling. Who the fuck cares, dude? Who cares? You know, if this
Especially
person
now,
doesn't
you know,
like
yeah.
if this person doesn't like that federation, don't fucking watch it. Why do you always have to get online and just be negative? That shows that there's not something wrong with the people you're shooting that towards. There's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? If you're
I just,
constantly
you know, sometimes
negative and shooting that stuff out into, the internet, there's something wrong with you.
though we do have to raise our voices. Like with you, you raised your voice against, against Willie, and and I've been really fighting this for now for like the last 3 weeks or so, and I'm like, it really means a lot to me because I have a history. My wife, my wife told me her story about it, but
Mhm.
like I've been just furious what was going on back east with the protesters,
Mhm.
the anti-Semitic attacks.
Mhm.
I'm going to say this clear and clear as day, and that
Mhm.
is Hamas is a terrorist organization, and if you're supporting them, you're supporting terrorism. If you're attacking Jews, and blaming them for what happened over in Gaza, you're dead wrong and misinformed. And for God's sake, pick up a freaking history. But it blows my mind, Eric, that I see clips of a Band of Brothers. Did you ever see that miniseries, Band of Brothers?
Long time ago, my dad was a huge fan of that.
I'm a huge fan of that.
Mhm.
Uh, Recently, they just had a miniseries called Masters of the Air,
Okay.
and it was all over. It was on Apple TV, and and there was a miniseries. They're talking about it. It was the U.S. Air Force,
Mhm.
attacking Germany during World War II. Tom Hanks did another movie called Greyhound, which is about the Battle of the Atlantic.
Okay.
History movies, history. For the love of God, I cannot understand how anybody, because in this country here, could
Mhm.
allow that. How
Yeah.
how how is this all being allowed? They're attacking the Jewish students. They're attacking the professors. And they have no idea. They have no idea the history of why what has happened, why
Mhm.
Palestine the way it is. If the Jews are how they were really treated,
Mhm.
especially after World War II. Nobody has the grasp on that because we have gotten away from teaching history.
Right.
It used to be every U.S. president would go to Pearl Harbor on December 7th. Every president would fly over to Normandy, or the vice president would fly over to Normandy during June 6, 1944, as a
Mhm.
reminder of what we went through. They have not done that, and I don't care. I don't know when's the last time a president has actually walked the sands of Normandy,
Mhm.
or gone to Pearl Harbor. I don't know. It used to be the news would cover it, but now we have forgotten this so much that this is happening here. This is
Mhm.
actually happening right now. Students are being attacked. They're being hurt. Their anti-Semitic attacks are everywhere, and it's just like I'm just stunned because it's like we sent our boys over to free Europe from that. We had our soldiers go to the camps. My wife walked through two of those camps. She
Oh,
walked through
wow.
Dachau, and she walked through our Auschwitz.
Mhm.
We went to the Holocaust Museum up in Farmington Hills, which is about 20 miles away from me, about 15 miles away from me. We
Mhm.
went there at least twice a year whenever they had a new exhibit.
Mhm.
There's a train. They have a train, a train car on there. It was on a set of little bit of tracks. It was one of the cars that the Germans you herded the Jews in and then gassed them. They
Mhm.
had that as a memory, as a memory.
Mhm.
And it's like, how are we not understanding this? How are we ignoring this? How are we allowing this to happen? And I feel really, really bad because I'm sitting over here going like, you're quiet. You're too quiet. You said
Yeah.
nothing about this. You're part of it. By your silence, you're complicit. So I'm not going to be so quiet. I'm not going to be so quiet. I'm not going to do it necessarily on this channel, but I have
Right.
another channel, and I'm
Right.
going to go over there. I'm going to start. We need to raise our voices about this.
Well, see, here's the thing, and I mean, hey, God bless, your late wife and all that stuff. But here's the thing: it's also kind of like, and this is me being on my soapbox type of thing. It's all in how you do it. Kind of like when we were talking about civil conversation. Now, this is a different situation, obviously, than YouTube, but it's all in how you present yourself. How are you going to convince somebody to listen to your viewpoint and stuff like that? First, you got to be educated, no matter what. That's
Yeah,
that's number one.
we've just gotten away from it.
And I think a lot of the problem is like I said, I don't follow politics because I don't give a shit, man. Like I said, I got my own little bubble to care about right now.
Sure.
The problem is now all of our authority figures are bad influences. They're arguing. They're more into trash talking the other person instead of trying to make things better. So here's the thing, a lot of people, they have that hive mind. You know what I mean? They can't think for themselves, and they're thinking, okay, this guy, and let's just say he's a senator or the president or a former president, doesn't matter fucking who, they're acting this way. So why the hell should I act any different than them?
Because we're better. Because we're better than them.
Regardless of who you are for, Democrat, Republican, otherwise, regardless. You know what I mean? Eventually one of them is going to influence you by something they say, and then you're going to be influenced by their actions. And that's the problem, is a lot of these people, or a celebrity. A celebrity's throwing their hand in the pot, you know what I mean? The problem is they're so easily influenced by the people behind the microphone and how they're acting, they can't really think for themselves. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's, I think, a way a lot of these people are not giving a crap. And that's the way that's the reason why a lot of the world, or at least I'm going to say the United States, is in the, I guess you say, situation it's in. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
have no one. They have no. I'm not going to say role models. Because no politician's a fucking role model. But they have no one as a positive influence. Because even if someone's doing good, you know, they're still going to have that one person, that one or two times when that person's going to take a shot at another person. That just kind of brings you down to their level.
You mentioned something really uh, uh, let's see. Oh, I will have to stop here for one quick because Jim just said here that
Mhm.
he got looks like he's got a new job. Congratulations, Jim.
Oh, nice! Congrats.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hopefully, he got the pending offer on his background check. Well, for everybody who's paying attention, Jim's an outstanding human being. There, I said it. Stand by it. Thank
Very
you.
cool.
There, yeah, very cool. Congratulations.
Hmm.
Um, it's funny you mentioned that too. About politics and politicians. And it's like it is sorely. It is. You used to be able to at least respect them.
Yeah.
I think I respect two. I respect two
Okay.
politicians that I know that are serving today, like 100%.
Okay.
Everybody else I have some measure of respect for. Other I just have complete disdain for.
It's
Um,
just a popularity contest now, dude. That's
um,
all it is.
well, it's just completely it's just some people keep talking about how ever since this whole thing with Trump has been going on, this country's gone downhill, and I'm like, much as I like to sit here and agree with that, I can't because our country has
Right.
been sliding since 9/11,
Hmm.
and there was been sliding ever since, and it's not slowing down, it's speeding up,
Hmm.
and that's what's really alarming. It's like it's not getting better. Before you sit there and see what's happening in New York, and it'd be over quick. It'd be
Yeah.
like you wouldn't and it's like and really when you see the Ivy League schools and this is the funny thing about it is like a lot of those Ivy League schools, they are built, their endowments are
Hmm.
built on the Jewish community, have built. Now here they are today. Now they're turning their heads. Now they're allowing the terrorism on their campuses, the violence, the hate rhetoric, and not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And now now a lot of people they're like, okay, that's fine. You don't need if I'm such a vile person and you can't stand me. I mean, there was there on Instagram, and this was really heartbreaking for me. This one was really heartbreaking because
Okay.
in putting in context was there was a young African American he was gay,
Hmm.
and so you think about how much he's had to overcome
Right.
being gay and being African American. And what was he doing? Calling for the death of Jews. Said it.
Mm.
He said it. He said calling for the death for Zionists, for Jews, called them fascists. Dude, you don't know what the word means, so you shouldn't really be talking about it.
Yeah.
It has no idea, and it's like to me, I'm going like, wow, really? Of all the people that you would think that would understand what was going on more than anybody else, it will be one that's had to walk through that same fire the Jews are walking through now.
Yeah.
Instead, we got the opposite. Blows my mind. I'm going like, wow. Do you know how many people right now, even right now, are saying the same thing about you and look at your rights are being rolled back.
Yeah.
You think you have it good now? Just wait. Things go the way they could go. You're going to lose a lot more. You're gonna be the next Jews. You're gonna have your rights attacked. You're gonna have your stuff attacked. Everything that you gained the last since Stonewall is going to be gone if the wrong party wins.
Yeah.
And yet you're out there trying to wave the flag, encouraging violence against a fellow minority. Blows my mind, Eric.
It's the world's a scary place, man. You know it's like this. I would never wish the death upon anybody. You know my history. It's like we'll bring up that canker sore that won't go away, will he? You know what I mean? You know my complete history with him. I've always said no matter what I do to him, I would never wish any type of pain or worse on him. You know what I mean? Because that just makes me as vile as him, as bad as him. I don't wish for good things to happen to him, but I wouldn't want anything bad to. You know, anything bad that
No,
happened to him, he's going to
he's
bring
his own
upon
worst
himself.
enemy.
Right.
He's his own worst enemy. You don't have to say anything. You just that's a situation where you don't have to wish anything on it because he's doing it to himself, and he's whatever he's doing to himself. I can't. There's nothing I can do or say
Mhm.
that he hasn't already done to himself.
And then we can kind of swing back to being YouTube. That's what I'm saying. YouTube should be a safe space where you're having fun. With your friends. Look at the chat's busy talking about Disney movies. God bless them. You know what I mean? YouTube needs to be a place where you can just take your shoes off, put your fucking feet up, talk to your friends, bullshit, have a good time because of how bad it is out there. You know what I mean? And then you have certain people, and I'm not trashing anyone. I'm not, because I'm friends with some of these people. I really am, like legit friends with them. Why are you? It's not worth it, dude. This, like I said, why are you bringing that stuff in here and also involving others? It's not worth it, because like I said, in the end, none of it matters. I don't know if there's an afterlife or any of that stuff, but in the end, once you're gone, you're gone, in my opinion. No disrespect to anyone else, but once you're gone, you're gone. And then, do you really want maybe the last thing you said to this person is "fuck you" or something like that? You know what I mean? Do you want to be looked at that type of a person?
There are some people out there I would gladly say that too. I have no problem doing it. Honestly, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
but
not.
but but, but
I'm
what
not.
I'm
I'm
saying,
not that. I'm not that saintly. I mean,
okay,
I'm.
but
I'm
but
not.
like I'm over something stupid like a YouTube stream or
Oh,
something
agree.
like
Yes.
that.
Yes. I
That's what I
agree.
mean. That
Yeah.
I'm not taking. I'm not. Personal stuff aside. Outside of the tube. I'm talking about here. No,
Right.
this is you just sit
No.
down, talk about movies, cartoons, Disney movies, you know, animals, cooking, whatever the fuck you want to talk about. Sit down and have fun and quit bitching about this person saying this about you. We're all adults. You're back in elementary school, and trust me, like we just talked about, just flip on the fucking news. There's a lot worse going on out there
I
than
just.
what
I
somebody
just.
says about a movie or someone saying this about you in a fucking live stream. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares?
I just let it go. Like
Yeah,
whenever I have a beef, I just I use the block button.
yeah.
I
It's just
I
not
do.
worth it. And I tell people, like, they'll say, "Did you hear what this guy said?" No, you
Oh,
didn't.
yeah,
I'm like, no,
I
because I
didn't
don't
know.
care. I don't care. And those type of people are also adding fuel to the fire. Did you ever think maybe this stuff will die down if you didn't keep telling people what this person said about that person and this and that? It's just not worth it.
I think some people mention it though out of the kindness of their hearts. I do, because I know the person who talked to me talked
Hmm.
to me. He wasn't there as a gossip, he wasn't there gossiping. He was just like you and I are, like shaking the head, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That was his attitude. Like, I can't believe this. And for I just can't believe, that's actually what he said was like,
Mhm.
I can't believe this bullshit. And I
Yeah.
was with him. I was like, I could see him like frustrated. And I'm like, I was too, because I didn't know it. I thought everything. I think I said, the community has been very peaceful.
Hmm.
I hadn't, Hi
That
Greg, how are you? How are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're. We're just rambling. We're rambling.
the horror community is a lot better than it
Yeah.
was like 3 or 4 years ago. A lot better, but there's still those people that they just gotta, they gotta start a little fire and then just see where it goes, and it's not worth it. I mean, because
Some people are bored.
yeah, well,
These
go
these
fucking read a
people.
book or go
Yeah.
go take a walk. You know what I mean? If you're that
I
bored, find something
yeah.
else to do than cause mischief.
I think some people just get on here and they're bouncing around. They don't have anything going, and
Hmm.
so they just want to go in there and spark something up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go inside. It's like, wow. Do you think it's, for some people though, they think they're being funny. That's some things. That's the thing too. Some people think they walk in there and they're being funny and they're saying shit to start shit up, and so
Hmm.
they can stand back there and look at it. And it's like, that's not very nice. That's not
No.
very nice. And and people will spot you doing that too. And
Yeah.
before you know it, they're gonna alienate you. They're gonna
Right.
ostracize you. As they should. Because
I
nobody needs that sort of shit around.
and I've grown myself. Like, I'm no saint. If you look at me now compared to where I was 3 or 4 years ago, I was a different person because I looked at it like this. I was at a point in my life where I didn't really give a shit. But in the long run, hindsight is 2020. I'm still an adult, and I was the one making all those choices. So I was the one to blame. It doesn't matter that Joe Blow was talking shit about me. Who cares? Did I have to do and say some of the things that I did? No.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
And in that case, yes.
Okay. If if
Yeah.
if we're, if we're thinking about the person, okay.
You'll always get a free pass with that. You'll
Okay.
always get a free pass, no matter, every time you come to me and say, "Am I a bad person?" Fuck no, you're a saint.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh,
like I said,
that
he's the most I mean, you're like I've said this before many times. I'll say it again, but I tell you one thing: it's like, the wrong person to cross would be him. If you come across and you're a knothead and you're really ugly, and you have poison in your soul, and you try to bring it to the wrong person,
uh,
don't do it.
I
Don't do it.
I appreciate that, but you also see my point, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You do, but it's like I said, I'm at a point where it's just not worth it. It's
Man,
just not worth.
man's laughing. Man's laughing and going, trust me, man, when I say that, he's the last person you want on your six. The last.
And that's one good thing like that's come out of it is like some of the people I've met through connecting with people. Mayan's one of the sweetest people I've met in the chat. You know what I mean? And if I hadn't changed my life around, I wouldn't have met, you. I wouldn't have met or like still been in contact with you because you even mentioned you could tell where I was going with my life at that time, but I wouldn't have met Mayanne or Val or Katie, from Popping the Popcorn. All these people that are like good people bringing in those good vibes that is needed in this fucked up world right now. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
really.
That's why YouTube needs to be a safe space for everybody.
I see people throw that hashtag on there too. I've seen some people, not even in our community. I've seen them out. I've seen them put that out for safe space. Like,
Mhm,
if you come to my channel, it's a drama-free channel.
mhm,
I actually see people do that on their lives. They'll sit there and say, "Come by and visit me. I'm a drama-free channel,"
mhm,
and yeah, by all means, they are. You walk
mhm.
in there, and if we try to start static, there's a lot of people with wrenches, and
Yep. Get
your
rid of
ass
them.
is on. Your ass is
Yeah.
gone. I mean, why engage with it? That's what I say. I don't
Mhm,
engage with people.
mhm.
I haven't engaged really with anybody since, in 10 years.
Right.
I just, if it gets to that point where it gets my fur up a little bit, I just block it and keep going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and have a back and forth debate with you about this. I might blow you up here. I might kick you out of here off my stream. I might kick you off my channel. So what?
Yeah.
So what? That's me. I dealt with. That's how I dealt with it.
Move on. Who
Yeah.
cares? But it's just it is what it is, and like I said, it's just I am happy to say it is a lot better than it was those handful of years ago. Because everyone was threatening. There were people threatening violence on people, and bringing in family members, which is a no-no. You know what I mean? It's just like lines being crossed, and this team versus that team, and all that stupid crap, and it's just not worth it. And that's why I'm glad now. You also got to know when to remove yourself from the situation. You know what I mean? You sometimes have to take that first step and remove yourself. And if it's removing yourself from people that you love and respect, you got to do it. You have to do it.
I had to do that today.
Yeah.
I had to do that today with somebody who I liked very much, but I just, it got toxic, and all of a sudden, and it's just like, no, I just can't do it. So I unhooked the wagon and moved on. I'm not going to sit there, not going to engage with the person, I'm not going to battle with it. I'm just going to go with the people who I respect and care for. And too, another thing too, and this is sort of funny too, but a lot of times, sometimes we see that the built up frustration and that anger and those words and stuff like that. And sometimes I wonder if it isn't, like you and I and Katie and Lady Valerie, and we take steps away from the violence, because we talk about a violent genre all the time, we're talking horror, right? But you know what? I think if you do that all the time, every day, I think it bleeds into you. I really do. I think it's subversive. It can. It definitely can. And that's why I like to get away from that. So like the movie I'm going to be covering for my dollar theater, I'm covering 2 weeks notice.
What's 2 weeks notice?
It's a Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock movie, romance.
Okay.
And it's not horror.
Well, you know what? You the thing is, Patrick, you're a movie channel. You discuss whatever you like. You know what I mean?
I guess. I keep on thinking, am I a horror channel? I think I'm a horror channel. I have over 250 reviews on my channel. I'm going like, I've reviewed a lot of horror. Maybe not so much as I thought, but I still got 250 reviews up. That counts for something, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, I also see a lot of your library hauls, and 9 times out of 10, it's not all horror either. You're just a lover of movie and film and TV. That's all it is. Horror. Me myself too. Horror is just that's the easiest genre to get into discussing because the fan base is so huge.
Yeah.
And you can meet so many, nice people discussing horror, but sometimes you kind of pigeonhole yourself. And that's why a lot of times I will talk about something that is not horror, like whether, a fucking cheesy movie like BMX Bandits, you know what I mean, with Nicole Kidman from like 1983 or something, just to kind of cleanse that palate. You know what I mean?
Epic. I think it's epic. And Jim's sitting there going like, for the record, I was in your last Hallmark stream. I just didn't chat, so I wasn't exposed. See, but we want you to expose yourself, Jim.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna edit that clip and I'm gonna save that. No, but again, it's fun because think of it this way. That's why I always said, Patrick, I thought it was fun that you came to me because for the Wonderful World of Hallmark, because it's a lot of fun because I am known for being like a horror guy or an 80s action guy. So it's fun and if she's available, it's fun with me sitting down with Lady Val and Katie and you and discussing of all things a fucking Hallmark movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Betty White. You know what I mean? I think that's fun, kind of bringing an outsider because like I said in that stream, which was a lot of fun to do, I wouldn't, I'm not saying I wouldn't be caught dead watching a Hallmark movie, but I would never like sit down. I'm going to watch some Hallmark today. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't have done a Hallmark review by yourself on your channel.
No.
See, that's but don't worry. Give us like 3-4 months. We'll have them doing it. And just think though. Now, while you might not be hosting, but the next movie, you'll be picking it.
Okay.
You're gonna be picking, We're gonna be pick. And here, how about this? And our next Hallmark show is gonna be on May 26th
Okay.
at 4 o'clock. So we're gonna have Hallmark, and then for all you horror fans out there, after we get done with Hallmark, you can come back and catch the IFC show at 8 o'clock.
I don't know how you do it, dude, but God bless you.
And you know what? I'm not picking. It's either going Ben or Haas, and those two guys, they pick out some shit.
Well, that's why I'm getting, once we get like all the rules and stuff planned out, I'm getting more and more excited for Shark Week coming up in a couple of months, because I think so far how we've gotten it, because I can't do fucking 7 videos, one per day. I think we decided it's going to be 5, 1 a week. We're going to pick a selected day. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday for the month. And then if I have access to them, I'm going to review whatever shark movie you have for me. If I haven't already reviewed it, I'm not sitting through some of them Mark Polonia things for a second time.
No.
And then I'm going to pick some fun. I'm going to pick some fun stuff for you. So
there's so many high quality shark movies out there. Like I was shocked today. I was shocked today when I sent you behind the scenes of that brand new shark movie with Richard Dreyfuss, and all I got was thank you, Greg, for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Take care.
And I said, hey, look, check this out. Here's another one coming, and you're like, oh, that's some bullshit. And I'm going, but it has Richard Dreyfuss in it. It's like it's quality. It has Richard Dreyfuss in it.
Richard Dreyfuss was also in Piranha, so you gotta pick and choose. But what I'm really looking forward to is we kind of have this little banter you and I created. Like every now and then you'll send me, oh my god, the 1,000th shark movie to come out last month, and then I'll just respond by saying no. Stuff like that. Oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Yes, it can, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an ongoing joke now. That's been fun.
I can't wait for you to watch your first Dustin Ferguson movie. I cannot wait to see the first one. You will be begging to watch bad shark movies after that. I promise you that. He like I said before, he is the equivalent of Willie if Willie could direct a movie.
Well, I will say this. First off, Mayanne, Patrick did make me watch Ouija Shark, the first one, and I did end that video with a good old "Go F Yourself" directed right at Patrick, and he took it in stride. I think he shared that on his community post. You can check that one out.
And I just shared it out again too.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
My goal is to make sure 100 people see that.
Yeah. But the thing is, you mentioned Willie. Now that I'm done reading that book, I did say I'm going to. Because the thing on my channel is going to be stuff I've never seen. For the rest of the year, it's got to be a movie I've never seen before. And I'm kind of curious about getting into fan films, maybe for like a monthly theme or something like that. Because I reviewed a couple of the Friday the 13th ones, which are okay.
I gotta go back and do the third one. I don't know why I just dropped the ball on it, but I did.
I'm gonna do the fan film adaptation of Mother's Day, which Willie is in. He is in that movie.
That's the one you said that I had. Yeah, he had to. They had to edit his voice out because he couldn't speak his lines.
Yes, both versions are on YouTube. He plays like the head of Mrs. Voorhees, and he looks awful. I mean, it looks like it's dried pancake batter on his face, and he's wearing a wig, and he couldn't say his lines, proper, because even if it's a fan film, Mark Polonia take notes. Even if it's a fan film, you want to put your best fucking foot forward. You know what I mean? And he was so bad, they literally to fix it, they
bad.
Did a close up so you couldn't see Willie's mouth. They pulled out his dialogue and they just said F it, and they just inserted Mrs. Voorhees dialogue from like the first Friday the 13th movie because it's so bad. But that's because you know what, like I said, you got to put your best foot forward, and he just ruined it. But I'm gonna jump into fan films, I think maybe next month.
Fan films, man, I gotta tell you, man, fan films are very much like Spooky Kisses Haunts. she's going around and she's finding all these great haunts. More,
Hmm.
every time she go there, they're bigger and better than they were the year before. I mean, it's crazy, crazy popular. Fan
Hmm.
films are like that too. And I was listening to Doomsday. I was listening to one of his shows, and there was a guy there that mortgaged his house
Hmm.
for a fan film. He mortgaged his damn house.
Yeah.
I think his fan film cost something like $80,000.
Hmm.
And I'm going like, unless Warner Brothers standing right there with a contract in their hand
Yeah.
saying that we want you to direct the next Friday the 13th movie. What the hell were you thinking? I
You
mean,
know, it's that passion though. That's the thing, and that's why I sure as hell wouldn't mortgage my house, but
oh, no, but
but I can respect them for doing that to just try to make the best product possible. When you have Mark Polonia's dumbass having a shark puppet, in every single one of his movies, and now he realizes that he's a shit director. He has to make nothing but shark movies and have that same stupid puppet in it. I've seen behind the scenes video of him like on YouTube saying, "Hey, we got the Sharkula puppet." You know what I mean? He's all happy. Some of the stuff you can tell he doesn't care.
have you
And if
seen
you
Shark?
don't if you
Have
don't
you
care
seen
about your
Sharkenstein
product,
yet?
why should I?
Have you seen Sharkenstein yet?
Yes, I did that last year for Shark Week. It's in the playlist.
That one's painful. That's a
It's
painful.
it's it's not the worst one I watched. The worst one I watched last year was Sharkula. That was awful. That was one of the worst movies I've ever had the displeasure of seeing.
I saw Doll Shark last year when we did Polonia Week. I did Doll Shark. I watched that one with Casey. I did, and he has actually made a couple of decent movies. He did Return to Splatter Farm, which I
Hmm.
thought was a solid slasher.
Okay,
That was pretty solid. I was in Amityville Death House. That was actually surprisingly good too. I was
really?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I didn't expect, I went in there like expecting the worst, and I was pleasantly surprised as they sit there and I'm like, these are not bad. Especially Return to Splatter Farm. Both those movies can hold their own. They can, but the rest of the movies,
Hey, you know what? What do they say? A blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while. If I can find a Polonia film where I can sit down and enjoy it, I have no problem saying that. But so far, and you said you did Polonia Week. I did Polonia Week basically on accident. I didn't know research on this stuff, and then I didn't even realize they were all freaking Polonia films until it said a film by Mark Polonia in the beginning. And I think the main
yeah.
problem was I started the week off with Sharkula, and I just knew what I was getting into.
Well, yeah, but if he started off with the worst movies and the rest of the movies got better as the week went on.
Yeah, but like I've said before, it got better. Like, what what pile of dog mess do you want to step in the lawn? You know what I mean? The fresh or the day old. You're still
Yeah.
stepping in it. You know.
What if the one where the dog poops in the wintertime, but then when springtime it turns white and it's crusty? But at least when you step on that, you're not going to be sinking your toes into it. It might have a crunchy sound, but it's better than having squishy toes.
Okay,
So
maybe I'll say that about Jurassic Shark 2. How about that? Jurassic Shark 2 was maybe the winter one.
I think they have a third one, Sea Venge, Jurassic Park 3, Sea Venge.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even bother looking to see if Mark directed it or not.
Let's see. I don't know about whose side I'm going to pick in the current drama until Pat Stiff.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Jim. I will tell you, and yeah, yeah. I'll, I'll I'll tell you. I'll have to tell Jim.
Yeah.
Um,
But all I'm gonna say is that it's in my opinion, it's a lot of people, because whoever whoever Patrick tells you about today, 6 months down the road, it's gonna be someone else. So
yeah, that's one bad thing about it. I mean, but like you said though, I mean, like it's been really peaceful. Like
mhm.
other than today, otherwise I would have never known anything. And it's like even
This
even
is
when
like it's just stupid and pointless.
even when someone tries to start shit,
Mhm.
I noticed one thing. I noticed that even when people try to start shit, sometimes the other person doesn't really believe you. You know, you can
Hmm.
try to sit there and say, well, this person said this person said, you know what? There's signs that the other people don't believe you. They
Yeah.
see you as just causing shit, and and they'll react to they'll react accordingly.
Yeah.
You know, as you look at, like you're the victim. People
Hmm.
look at you and say, maybe you're not so much the victim as you'd like to think. And that's the thing. People try to play the professional victim, like I was wrong and they said this and that. Yeah, but you know what? How's it every single time something goes around, you're in the orbit.
Yeah,
You know?
that's. I mean, I've said that about one person. I'm like, have you ever noticed that when drama happens, there's that one little person kind of in the background, pulling the strings and stuff like that. And it's always the same person. Put two and two together, guy. You know what I mean? Put two and
Yep.
two together. Take
Yep.
yourself out of the situation. If someone says, "Hey, did you hear what this person said?" You can politely respond by saying, "I don't care." And then you can tell the person, "Don't tell me this stuff anymore." Or the person you're having beef with, just confront them privately, be like, "Hey man, did you really say this?" No. So you can take what they say either to heart and believe them or
Hmm.
not. But in the end, it doesn't matter. It
No, it
doesn't
doesn't.
matter. It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
matter.
No, doesn't matter to me. It's just like in meatballs. It just doesn't matter.
No.
It just doesn't matter.
It's just stupid petty shit, and that's the perfect way to say it. It's stupid petty shit. You guys want to fight? You go right ahead and fight. I'm gonna sit down and go fucking watch Ninja Turtles or something, and have fun with my life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
We
go watch like the Muppet Show and be happy. You guys wallow in your misery and go at each other's throats.
we want to see. Yeah. So my thing about our Shark Week is I'm picking 5 shark movies for you.
Uh huh.
But you get to pick 5 movies that I know nothing about for me. I have to watch in order to get you to watch really, really bad shark movies. I have to watch 5 movies that you pick out, and I'm sort of nervous about that because
Now
I've
I'm
seen
cool.
stuff
I
like
got a question though, because we
uh,
know we haven't penciled everything in properly. I don't have to pick shark movies, do I?
no,
That
no. I'm picking. I know you can pick. Yeah, that was the deal. Like you get
yeah,
to
that's
pick
what I
five
thought.
movies that you're like, oh, this is some bullshit, and
Hmm.
then send them my way, and I find you 5 shark movies to send your way.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to send you some quality shark movies. I said I was going to send you Black Demon. I know
Okay.
for sure I'm going to send you Black Demon. That has Josh Lucas in it. Now
Okay.
Josh Lucas is one of my favorite actors, so I wouldn't be sending you some bullshit.
Hmm.
So I'm sending you that. I mean, that's a good one. I'm trying to send you some quality. Trying to send you some quality shark movies
Hmm.
because I think you should just send me 5 quality action movies. Like Stone Cold or something like that.
Well, I see. That's why I love you, Patrick. You always got to try to poke the bear, just because I fucking like Stone Cold. You always got to say that. But
I
this
love,
is. But
I love
again,
that movie. That movie's
I
so
know
much fun.
it is fun. But see, again,
It-
that's how you're supposed to poke fun at each other if you're friends. Yeah, make them watch a shitty fucking movie, then have fun about it. You know what I mean? That's what YouTube is for. Make a friend watch something they don't want to watch, and then make them do a review. That's
yeah.
fun. I used to do
Well,
that with my I used to do that with my wife. We haven't done it in a long time because we've just been so busy. We used to have something called Please Don't Make Me Watch. And what it would be is I would pick a movie. I've said her name before. Her name's Rachel. I would pick a movie like, okay, Rachel, we got to sit down. No electronics. So no phone in your hand, no tablet. You got to sit down and then you got to help me with the review. I would make her watch something stupid like Troll 2 or Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, some garbage like that. Excuse me.
you,
And then
you,
she would come back, and she knows me. I don't like musicals. I'm not big on like live action Disney stuff from like the 60s. So she would make me watch stuff like, oh God, Annie, which ended up being a good movie. But
yeah.
would you ever catch me, Patrick? Do you ever think I would sit down and watch Annie? No. But she would make me watch stuff like Annie or God, Babes in Toyland with Annette Funicello. So it was just little fun things. And
But I can see you doing it now, though.
yeah, because like I said, me, you
I
know,
can see.
a handful of years
I
ago,
like
I
your
wouldn't be
cartoon
watching that.
series. I like your cartoon series. You guys are watching cartoons.
That was so much fun, dude. But we had to stop it because YouTube is so fucky with its copyright stuff.
Yeah.
Why is it? And I think it's because they're bringing in money for YouTube. Why is it you can have someone literally sit down and watch the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer,
Yes.
and it can
I don't.
and they and you can have that video up for years and years and years, and it's literally them watching the trailer, and they're not contributing to anything. Oh wow, that looks cool. Oh, that looks neat. Okay, guys, looks like it's going to be a movie. See you next time. Or you can have something like me and my wife picking random stupid fucking cartoons from the 80s and 90s, whether it's Captain N the Game Master or the Mr. T cartoon, stuff like that. We're watching it and we're giving fun commentary, but we get hit with a copyright strike, and then boom, the video is pulled down. So we
Yeah.
stopped doing it. And I wanted to keep all my videos up, but 6 months down the road, we haven't done one in 6 months. Boom, you got hit with another copyright strike. So that just took the fun out of it. And why is it that two a couple from Podunk, Illinois can't do something like that, but you have some
Right.
guy just watching a movie trailer and he gets thousands and thousands and thousands of views and
Yeah.
nothing happens?
Well, YouTube is doing this. We mentioned this the other day too, but YouTube is I noticed there's a lot of AI accounts on YouTube. I mean, a lot of AI. People talk about AI in the movies and how it's going to affect the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I see all the people. I see all these fans are talking about how AI is going to affect the movies besides the actors,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me laugh because I'm going like, do you're already being infiltrated by AI?
Mm-hmm.
There's two or three AI voices when you go and you watch every short that YouTube puts out. They're always the same voice.
Yeah.
It's AI voice. The channels are AI. They put up copyright. They put up content. And it's up there. There's no and then there's no more reporting copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you see something like, oh, I know that's not right,
Yeah.
you can't even report it because they don't care. What they're doing, what they're trying to do, I really feel this way, is I think they're trying to force out the humans, the content,
so?
as far as money wise. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if you can get AI account and you can run old TV shows on there without no problem, and then if you and I try to do the same cartoon, we're getting strikes, and yet the AI account is still running.
True. Yeah, it just boggles my mind, like how some people can just go through the hoops or go through the red tape and just get it, but like someone like me or if Mayanne did it or something like that, within 30 seconds, copyright. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's bogus.
right before I came on and started doing this pop up, I caught Shout Selects, and
Mhm.
on their YouTube channel, what were they doing? Maybe it's because they own the rights. I don't know, but I don't know if they do or not. But they're running like a 24-hour marathon of Space 1999.
Mhm.
But I've seen other channels run the same thing, and yet I know people who put that on there and they have lost their channels.
Bro, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Me and Rachel would get hit for copyright because this was like when I was first starting YouTube. You know what I mean? I still do YouTube through my phone because I'm just lazy. You know what I mean? But what I would do then, literally, we would sit at our computer. I would hold up my iPad. You know what I mean? And we would record the cartoon through the iPad. The funny thing is, we would get hit by the copyright strike. Watching fucking Smurfs or something. You know, for just to throw a cartoon out there, we would get hit with a copyright strike. But guess what? The thing is, the channel we were watching that cartoon on wasn't the owner of that material. So how is it we get the copyright strike, but the person who's uploaded that episode of He-Man or whatever,
Right.
they still have that episode of He-Man up there? How are they getting away with it? Is it because they're at 3 million subscribers?
Yep.
Who are never possibly monetized, so that means YouTube gets a cut, or
Yep.
it was me and Rachel who are at the time 300 subs. You know what I mean? We're not
Right.
making a dime for YouTube, so that's the bogus bullshit too.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it's funny, they turn around and turn around and demonetize channels as well.
Well,
Like
look
they put
what Val just said in the chat. She got a copyright on a Halloween movie themed video, which she's used the same clip and that other people have used. How many times have people used we'll use Halloween as an example. How many times have people used that clip of Michael behind Lori sitting up like the Undertaker? You know what I mean, from WWF. Everybody who is a Halloween fan that wants to make a Halloween video has used that clip. Why is it, let's just say for the sake, why is Lady Val copyright stricken, but why is Joe Blow not? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not fair. Either
because
let Val have her
Lady
video.
Val has 110 or 115
Yeah.
subs, and the other guy has, like, 30,000 subs.
I mean, I see she right there. I just fucking guessed it. That is the clip, him sitting up like fucking Undertaker, because that's one of the most iconic shots of that movie. So that's why everybody uses it. It's just bogus.
Yeah,
But
it's really
even if it's not like a strike, it's still, copyright. So you can't monetize it. What if, God bless her, what if Val ends up getting enough subs where she can monetize? You know what I mean? So
they'll tell her.
this kind of screws her anyways, because why is now she can't monetize that video because it's
Yes,
got a little
and you
copyright
have to
on it.
go back, and you have to go back and clean up all the videos that you have. You have
Hmm.
warnings on there. You have to go back there and take off all the warnings. The ones
Yep.
that kill me, the ones that get me, are the ones where I have bands come on and they're singing all the original music. I invited them to do that, and yet
Hmm.
after the stream's over, I'll get this warning,
Hmm.
copyright warning, like, and there's no way for me to sit there and say, yeah, the band whose music that belongs to, they're a guest on my channel, so it's okay.
I've had a friend who was in a band. He was playing his own material on his own channel, and he got a copyright.
Jeez,
And who are you going to appeal to? No
nobody.
one. There's
Yeah,
no one to appeal to.
no, and they just cut, and the thing is, they just cut staff. They got rid of their music department on YouTube.
Hmm.
So they had the YouTube Music. They got rid of all that. All the people
Hmm.
there wanted to. I guess they wanted to unionize or raise or some bullshit like that.
Hmm.
Something fair. And no, they had a big meeting about it, and they ended up getting all. I think they're all contractors. Maybe that's what they were.
I
But
mean,
they let them all go. They let them all go.
it's like this. I mean, I get it. Like if you're literally just showing like a movie for free, I get why you want to copyright strike someone on that channel so they can't make money off your product. I get that. Like if it's literally the beginning of Halloween till the very end where Michael disappears in the grass, and that's it. But if you're using it as a review or something like that, whether you're praising the movie or trashing the movie, that's a different thing altogether. You know what I mean? If you're putting in the time editing, like you're on camera, and then we show the clip of them taking the mask off Michael in the beginning, and then you're on camera explaining this and that, or you know, you're putting in the time and effort to promote a movie or a product or something like that. That's a hell of a lot different than just sitting there and just playing the entire movie from beginning to end on a channel to try to make money and get views.
Yeah, yeah. It's frustrating. It's
Yeah.
frustrating. It's frustrating. I've seen people try to get monetized. They get monetized, then they get knocked off, and then they have
Hmm.
to wait for 6 months, and they have to go
Yeah.
back there and show that they have to go. And you have to show them YouTube. It's like, wait a minute, you want me to show you what's going on my channel, but I can't. But you won't. But you won't let me talk to a human being. I can't
Right.
talk to anybody.
Right.
It's like, and then they ask you, like, how do you like your experience on YouTube? I hate
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. I can't talk to nobody until I can talk to a human being.
Yeah.
I'm always going to rate you guys bottom of the bucket.
Yeah.
You're never going to get positive from me.
I
Never.
I've had a buddy doing, like, that's why me and Rachel, we were having so much fun doing those cartoon commentaries. We just stopped because it stopped being fun. I've had a buddy of mine who did like a reaction video, and it was one of those reaction videos where he's just trying to be funny. You know what I mean? It's not, he's just not sitting there and watching, and saying, "Oh, okay, go see the movie." He was trying to be funny. He got hit with a copyright. He hit an appeal, and literally within 15 seconds was denied. Now you mean to tell me he's got a like 3.5 long video? You mean to tell me that you were able to deny him in 15 seconds? Like someone actually watched, read his thing and watched and tried to see if his appeal was legit. Come on, that's bogus too. That's
I mean,
why a
I
lot
mean,
of people are going to like Daily Motion or other YouTube like websites just to upload the content. It doesn't have the YouTube name, so a lot of people won't find it, but it's
Or
still
at
them
least
at least getting their product out.
right. Because that's the big risk. That's why everybody walks on the edge because here you are, you got all this. We saw that with Knight when he lost his channel.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything wrong at all.
I still say I think a lot of people were jealous of his gains, and they were just reporting in his channel over and over again because he was catching so much freaking steam, dude. I stand by saying that. We can't prove it. It's all speculation. I swear that's what happened to him.
That was so weird, man. I went over there. He had the night before. He did the Jaws show with
Jaws.
with him and Coriander and Phil PP Vids.
Yep.
I went and looked at it. I went and looked at it the next day. I was working. I put it on in the background. I went to the restroom and got Cheetah something to drink. I came back up and on it said this channel's been terminated. I'm like, what the hell? I was just I'm sitting there going like, oh my god! I had to tell Phil. I'm like, what?
I was getting notifications at work.
I thought it was because it was Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sold too many clips. I thought it was a copyright thing.
Yeah.
Like he showed, and that's what I thought it was. And we're like, well, but I thought you got warnings and shit like that.
Oh, and the thing is the him. He barely has violent content on his channel. Like he's very careful with the clips he shows when it concerns violence. There's never any nudity. There's never any sexual situations. The only time there's ever swearing on that channel is usually when I'm there. You know what I mean? Because I cuss like a truck driver. So he tries to keep it very PG. And he's the one that gets the channel.
Movie slasher club can be very entertaining at times, especially when they go down the dark territory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, but you know my point. And then I swear it was just jealousy. Someone was jealous of him picking up all that steam, but then again, how can he appeal? How can he appeal to someone who isn't physically talking to him? If you lock him out of his account, he can't give you the links, this and that. So there's no way. And he's one like Knight. I've said this story on his channel, man. I was down in the dumps 3-4 years ago. Like my dad was dying at the time. I was in the middle of all that bullshit, me versus you crap. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And, this is at the time when, riots were happening, places are set on fire, everyone hates everybody. And I left social media. I wasn't going to do anything to myself. So I don't want anyone thinking that. But I was just like, I don't want to talk to anybody, do anything. And one day I was just fucking bored. And I think Marty from Trash Picture Show, he shared something because Marty's cool as hell. He's one guy I would always talk to. He shared, we're talking aliens on this channel. I like aliens. I'm bored. And then I just met some of the coolest and chillest people in the world. You know what I mean? He helped motivate me, get me kind of, out of my rut at that time because it showed me, there can be nice people out there too. You got to, it's like Andy Dufresne, you got to dig through the 2 football fields of crap to kind of find the good at the end of it. You know what I mean? There are good people out there. And then that, me and him had a good friendship. And then that opened up to friendships. That's how I met you. And then that's how I met, Mike and everybody and a lot of the people here in this chat and stuff like that. And but it's just
we did a push for him too. I did a push stream for him and Jen.
Mm-hmm.
We got Jen past her 1,000. She was getting too close to 1,000. So we went up there. We were up there a couple of hours, 2-3 hours. We got Jen past 1,000. And then we got Marty past 500. Did that one. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
And see, that's just what makes me think, Knight almost didn't want to come back, because I had his number at the time. He almost didn't want to come back because he was so down in the dumps because he puts a lot of effort into it and time. And he was thinking, is it not worth it? Now, God bless him. Look, and he's exploded. Yeah. And I'm super happy for all of them involved. But it's just like, it shows how jealousy. Like I said, I'm sticking to that. I know people were jealous of him and just jumped on his channel. I'm thinking, it just shows how jealous and petty some people can be over YouTube, and it's just stupid.
Val just put down here. It says Eric and Liquid Knight lost his monetization not that long ago. I had no idea about
I
that.
didn't know about that until just now.
No explanation. Just took it all away. It took him like 4 months to get it back. That's what
And
happened to
see,
Hobbs.
and
Hobbs.
see, that's bogus, because here's the thing. Let's just say, for lack of a better term, let's just say Knight's putting too many clips into his channel. Okay? What YouTube should do, send him a warning. I guarantee you that man would be like, he would rather, as much as he puts effort into it, he would rather, take the clips out so his product can stay up. That's what we all want to do. We just want to get our product out. If we got to abide by the rules, you know what I'm saying? Showing a 20-second clip isn't killing anybody. But if we got to abide by the rules, we would rather do that to have our product. Because I go through his older videos and you could tell a lot of the stuff has been edited because he's been hit before.
Oh, okay.
But you should be getting a fucking warning. It's just so stupid.
No, same thing happened to Hobbs. Hobbs was doing his thing, got his monetization, and then he doesn't know exactly what happened. It happened to Genome, but he said he thinks he figured out what it was that and he might be right about this. He thought he got demonetized because he was doing a video and he had a cross in the back of him. He had a cross in the background.
It's possible. There's no explanation on what you can and can't do.
No.
Like I just uploaded a video today, like right before you went live, on a really bad movie called River of Darkness. It's garbage. It's awful movie. So
wait, is this was Christina Hendricks?
No, this came out in 2011. It's starring Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash. Professional wrestlers. It's awful. It's and I struggled to do that review, but I did it for Frenzy. But the thing is, it's about, it's like a ghost story, revenge story. And there was like, you got to watch what you say. They're coming back for revenge because one person was accused of doing a certain act towards a woman. And you can put two and two together,
right,
what that act was. You now have to watch what you say because there are now buzzwords. You know what I mean? That will get you demonetized or blocked. So you can't say the S word when someone passes away. You have to find ways to say, like, walk around on eggshells for that. It's not like you're promoting the acts, themselves, but like you can get demonetized or flagged just for saying a certain word.
Wow.
And you might not even realize it. Like, so now I did a video where someone passed away under their own hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just didn't even think of it. I said the S word, and I said, I was told by a friend of mine, he said, just be careful because YouTube will flag that and they could block that video because you're using that word, because it's a lot of trigger words. Like, I understand, like, if you're being racist, you say all the N word.
I see that word all the time in the comment sections. Mm-hmm. It's like, nothing's being done about that.
Right.
So someone actually came inside one of my chats and dropped that word in there, and I was like, I know the person didn't mean to use it in any derogatory way, but I still removed it because I'm going like, YouTube is grumpy that way. They're gonna they don't know that you didn't, you only meant it with respect. You didn't mean anything of it. But I'm going to take it off anyway, so we don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, like Val knows. I don't know if she knows this situation, but she's a mod on a lot of channels, and I'm a mod on a lot of channels too. Sometimes people just talk because they're just used to saying this word. Well, even like there are those assholes that say the R word, meaning, I'm trying to say someone who isn't as intelligent as you would think. You know what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to get you flagged. Some people will throw that word out, and I myself was bad. Like years ago, I don't say that word anymore. But like they're just saying that because they're used to saying it. Whether there was no malice or not, I will have to remove that because it could flag that person's channel. You know what I mean? There are those assholes that'll throw that word out to be derogatory, but then there are some people that will say it like, I grew up in the 80s. That term was used to also describe something that you would claim is stupid. Like that movie is, and whether there was no malice behind that person saying that comment, I would have to remove it from the chat because that person's channel could get flagged just for that buzzword.
it's funny. It's like I know what word you're talking about,
Hmm.
and now there's people actually go around and they go around to get around that,
Hmm.
but they're doing it as far as paying respects,
Hmm.
right? They're paying respect. There's this one kid on Instagram, and they keep showing him, and he's shooting baskets.
Hmm.
The guy's like he's like an autistic Stephen Curry. He's sitting
I've
out
seen
there and
the one
he throws the
he's
ball
doing all
behind there
the
and
three
he throws the
pointers.
ball. And
Yes.
then and so you look at the comments, they're going like, man, that kid can get down.
Hmm.
That's what they're
Hmm.
up. They're saying they're getting around it because they're not being derogatory. They're being complimentary and respectful, but they can't come out there and say, man, they can't come out there and tell him for a guy who has Down syndrome or autism
Hmm.
or anything else, that guy's badass. Is a ball of
Hmm.
fire.
Hmm.
No, because they're afraid that Instagram will come by and take
Yeah.
that, and so
Right.
they get around it by sitting using that keyword in different situations. And
Hmm.
that guy is a baller too.
I've seen those videos. He is amazing, making all these overhead 3-point shots, half court
Oh,
shots. Yeah.
I love to see that kid get a chance to not in an arena because I don't think he'd do very well, but I'd love to see Steph Curry come out there and hang out with him and shoot baskets with him.
Yeah.
I bet he'd give Steph a run for his money because you see those shots he makes. They're not rim rattlers. They're nothing but the bottom of the
Oh
net.
yeah. This kid's amazing.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
swishes every time.
yeah, I didn't know you saw those. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, yeah, those are badass.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, let's see. Val's comment. Oh yes, right. We got Lady Valerie past 100 too. Now we got to get her past 200.
Good
We
for
can
you.
do that. We could do that. I don't see why not. I can do that. We could do that.
Yeah.
You just passed 1,300 yourself.
I did. I think I'm at what 1309 or something last thing I checked.
Man, yeah,
13,
you're on.
1310. I'm finally after being on YouTube as long as I have been on YouTube, I'm finally catching some, steam and momentum. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I still consider this a hobby, but it's kind of cool seeing that people are coming to me and actually enjoying the product. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, that's a really nice amount of number, because like now I'm at 1381, and I'm going like I could sniff 1,400. I'm like that's
Yeah.
right around the corner, and then I'm going like then it's 15, and then I'm like okay, okay, I'm getting there. It's slowly happening.
Mhm.
People are. I just wish they comment more. The people that because that's what happens after you hit 1,000. You don't get to see who subscribes to you. It
But
doesn't
the,
say, Joe
but the
Smith.
thing the thing is, you got to consider too. Lots of people watch YouTube on their television. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they'll have a playlist or they'll have a watch later list and they'll watch it on their TV because they don't want to watch it on my laptop or on a phone. And the problem is with your television, it doesn't give you a chance to comment. Lots of times people won't think of just go back and comment. But one thing I'm going to say to to Lady Val and anyone with a small number of subscribers, like I said, just keep it a fun hobby. Do not obsess about numbers
Numbers. Yeah.
because that will take the fun out of it. Like we said when I first started, you want this to be your fun, safe space. If you want to talk about Halloween, you want to talk about ice cream, you want to talk about cosplay. Put all your passion for that subject into your channel, but don't worry. Oh shit, it's been up for a week and I only got 5 views. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You don't know what videos are gonna catch fire
No.
for some fucking reason. Every time I check my analytics, for some reason someone is watching my Kickboxer 3: The Art of War movie video.
Someone's watching
That
my Flashpoint movie.
that is such a garbage movie.
Oh,
It is not
my movie's
fun.
the
I
shit.
don't know what I did in that video to make it entertaining. It's just me talking about how it's a bad movie. That movie has is that video has now like in one of my like top 5 ever watched videos. So don't ever get discouraged because your video isn't taking off. Sometimes videos take years to catch steam.
Yeah.
And then once you get a video that finally gets that snowball effect and it's gaining views and views, then your other videos will get promoted. Hey, if you liked Eric's video of Kickboxer 3. You might like Eric's video of Leprechaun 4. You know, two movies that have nothing to do with each other, but it'll help get promoted. So I just always tell people, just keep doing it. Don't get discouraged. Don't obsess about views. Don't obsess about subscribers. Just keep having fun. And if your content's good and your passion's in it, that's the most important part. You don't want to be someone just sitting there at the laptop. Oh, I had a rough day at work, but I gotta push that content out. I'm not gonna watch you if you're bored and tired and in a bad
No,
mood.
no. You want to come up there
You want
and
to show your
talk.
passion. You want to be animated. You know what I mean? You know, even someone like me, I'm too lazy to edit. Like I said, I do everything on my freaking phone. But I don't want to do a video where I'm just so freaking tired because of work, because it shows that I'm just not into it. No, do the videos when you want to do them and you want to
Sure.
discuss them, because that's very engaging. I'd rather watch someone who
I, I
here's the
do, I
thing.
do,
I,
I
I, lo-
do,
I,
I
I
do.
love. I'm going to use her as an example again because love her to death. I'm not going to piss off the general. I know how much Val loves Halloween 1978. I'll tell you this: my timeline is nothing but like Halloween and Scream and stuff like that, and I do get tired of it. But I'll tell you what: if Val is so animated and passionate about her love for that movie, I would rather watch her movie or her video on Halloween 70, which what else can I learn about that movie? I would rather watch hers because she's so passionate about the movie and discussing it than Joe Blow discussing, the Iron Claw. I loved that movie, but he wasn't into it. So that also helps as well, when it comes to content creators. I want to be able to tell that you're into the project you're making, if that makes sense.
Right. Sometimes, sometimes it goes the other way around. I know that, I know that I know we did one movie on the ISC show that, yeah, you could definitely tell that one of us was not happy about that movie, and was just like you could just hear it, and like,
Mhm,
why are we doing this? Why are we
mhm,
like, it was the movie that got picked.
mhm.
We didn't know, because I had never seen it before. None of us had ever seen it. But then all of a sudden you go in there and you can just feel the person going like, it's not his cup of tea. I'm all right with that. I'm
Yeah,
all right.
but there's the difference of being a guest on someone's channel and having that attitude, and it being on your own channel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I try to
it's like
remove.
this. Let's just say, Patrick, you have a panel going, and we're watching a movie. Everyone loves that movie, but me. You know, there's a difference between me being, unenthusiastic about the film because I hated it on your channel than me just showing it on mine. I would rather watch, a panel of people that are having fun, even if
Yeah.
someone didn't enjoy the film, than someone just saying how I fucking hated this movie, blah blah blah,
Right.
in an unenthusiastic way. Like, you can have rants. People rants were like the
People,
rage. Rants were like the rage for the longest time. But there's a proper way to do rants. Take care, Jim. There's a proper way to do a rant, in my opinion. You
thanks,
want
Jim.
to make these rants, air quotes rants, fun. I'm not going to toot my own horn. You always bring up a Ouija shark. You really like that video of mine because I'm just
Oh my
ripping that
God, it's
movie
so
apart.
classic. It's so classic. Every thought I was gonna get my feelings hurt by it too.
No, because
I said, no, no, not at all. I encouraged him to. I
yeah,
said, really? He
we're,
really
we're,
goes after. I'm like, oh, I cursed
we're,
him
friend,
today.
we're friends taking the piss out of each other. But
Yeah,
there's people who try to do entertaining rants, and you can tell it's not scripted, like me. Like, Ouija shark gave me so much to pull from of what I didn't like. Or you could just be sitting there, and let's just say the Halloween remakes, the Rob Zombie stuff, and you can just have someone just be cussing out the actors, cussing out the director, this and that. I don't want to sit down and watch that for 10, 15 minutes of
I don't.
of
Yeah,
F you. No. Now,
yeah.
if you do it in a funny way, yeah, I'm all for it. But it's all in, again, your presentation. How you come off to the viewer is how you're going to get in those views. Because I'll tell you what, one thing about YouTube is they will take views away if someone watches less than 2 minutes or something like that. Well, you want to keep them engaged for that whole video or as much as you can, or else that view will be pulled away from you, and then and you'll lose it. So that's another reason why you gotta, at least, even if you hate the fucking movie, keep that audience attention. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, you don't want to just, and and again, it's all about taking it, taking it seriously too.
It's just
Like
a movie, dude.
I see some of these reviewers, and it's just like, man, they just come across like it's like they're talking about the creation of penicillin. And it's like it's a movie. It's like it's a movie. Well, unless it's an IFC movie, then you better, but
Right. But here's the thing. You know my passion for Jason Goes to Hell. I was,
me
you
too.
brought me in to help interview Adam
Yeah,
Marcus.
yep,
Jason Goes to Hell is one of the most disliked by the majority of the fans of that franchise. Why would I get so upset because someone shits on a movie that I love? It's not like you fucking kicked my child. It's a
right.
movie. Or
Yeah.
why would you just, you act like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Bro, sitting down and watching Nightmare on
And
Elm Street 5 isn't the worst thing that's happened to you, man. You wasted 90 minutes on a freaking movie.
it really kills me. The only thing that really gets my fur ruffled about that, was that the fact that we got to talk to Adam Marcus and we got his side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
We know now what happened in the making of that movie, how that movie got made, and everything else. We have that information,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
this is what kills me too. This is what you and I are doing interviews now. It kills me is like this is probably my biggest pet peeve. This is my biggest pet peeve. Is the fact that we do our best to bring some really interesting people into our community. Bill Obrist Jr. was on the House of Horrors tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Obrist Jr. is a horror icon. That guy has done so many great movies, TV shows, and yet here it is. The show comes on there, and there are 5 people in there.
Right.
5, right? But good Lord, and I'm not taking it away from anybody here. But somebody will go out there and get the guy who cleaned up the lot after the latest Halloween movie, and yet there'll be 40 fuckers sitting there watching that shit. It's like
it's but that's also just the chance you take. But see what I don't get, like, we'll bring up Adam again. He was super cool. The documentary is almost finished because
Yeah.
I was part of the Patreon or whatever, so that physical copy is going to be coming my way by the end of the year finally. But what I liked about Adam is he was so down to earth, but he didn't hold back. He talked about Sean Cunningham, he's just a grumpy old man who wants his money. You know what I mean? And a lot of people shit on Texas Chainsaw 3D, and it has its problems. Adam was the writer. It has its problems, but people keep going to that one line, they'll do your thing cuz Adam didn't write that. Adam didn't want that in the movie. And we find that out in our interview with him. So a lot of people were crapping on Adam because he was one of the writers of the films. Adam, why'd you put that in the movie or in the script? He didn't.
Nope.
See?
Nope. People. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like when you get a chance to talk to these filmmakers like this, and you do get these filmmakers on this, and it just kills me. It does. It's like I said before. It's the one thing that frosts me is when I see someone get a good interview with somebody. Like Mike has some really great interviews, and it'd be like me sitting in there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them going like, man, all these, and maybe I'll ruffle some fur with this. I really don't care. But for all these so-called posers out there calling themselves horror fans out there, I'm down with horror. You're not. To me, you're just not. There's opportunity after opportunity after opportunity with some of these people that we get in here on our shows, and people will not come out and support that. And it's just like, but the funny thing is, like, again, I'll go back to Steven. Steven had Tommy McLaughlin on twice.
Yes.
Twice.
And Tommy McLaughlin is like one of the coolest dudes in the world.
He's one of the nicest guys. And the first interview Steven had, I think he had like 5 people in it. The second one he had 2 people, and one of them was a guy who got up in the UK. He actually set his alarm clock to get up to watch the show.
Yeah.
2 people. And yet you get to go some of these other bigger channels and hear them talking about Friday the 13th. Yeah, I'm a big Jason fan. And he's like, but we had Tommy McLaughlin in there not once but twice. Where were you? You could
It,
have had a chance to ask some questions.
again, it all depends on like when you're uploading it and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh,
there are people that you can tell are passionate, but
amazing.
then you can tell people that are just trying to be relevant. That's one
Yeah,
thing I
they're
like. That's one thing I like about Mike's channel is he only wants to discuss films that he wants to talk about. You know what I mean?
no. I'm the same way. I
Hmm.
mean, look at. I mean, you don't see me talking about any of the latest movies. So I do want to. I do want it to get it, and I want to see it. But again, I'm on a, like I can't go out there to the theater. I can't go out there and spend like $20 to
I
watch the
know.
movie, not own a copy.
I
So I
know.
have to sit there and wait for Late Night with the Devil. I have to
Hmm.
sit there and wait for it to come on. Hopefully, come through the library. I want
Yeah.
to see it. Sure, I
Yeah.
do.
Hmm.
But most of the time, with a lot of all the relevant movies out, I'm perfectly willing to wait for it. And
Yeah.
I'm not even always necessarily going to go out there and write a review about it either.
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm doing we're talking tomorrow. We're talking Rust Creek on the ISC show, and I'll be talking about 2 weeks notice on Monday.
Hmm.
We're gonna be doing started doing watch parties on Friday. Those you're gonna be hanging out with me on one of those if I can land it. Um,
Maybe.
yeah, oh, you will. Wait till you
Maybe.
see wait till you see who I'm going to try to get.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's I mean I kind of get like I like my interview series because it's usually just people I've met, just shooting the shit with friends and stuff like that. But it's like you were there when I was talking to Madman Pondo.
That
You
was
know
a
what I
great.
mean?
That
You're
was a
not
great.
a big wrestling guy. You knew nothing about deathmatch wrestling,
I just want to hang out with you.
but
That was a great.
he was a good interview, and we got maybe 5 people in there. I mean, the
But it was a
video
great
itself
interview.
has exploded. It's over 2,000 views.
That's amazing.
But, I mean, and then sometimes I feel bad. Like, this guy's taking time out of his schedule to sit down and shoot the shit and no one's there. But, I also looked at it as me, I was kind of fanboying over him. You know what I mean? But,
I thought you were very professional.
yeah.
That was a great interview. I'm glad you're doing the interviews too, because that's awesome.
Hmm.
Mr. Dan Ahor just walked through the door right now.
Hey, Dan.
He's now doing martial arts. I'm so tickled about that.
Very cool.
I didn't know he was into martial arts, but all of a sudden he says, "Yeah, I'm doing martial arts." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" About because I put out a couple of martial arts, but I'm not a practitioner. So
Hmm.
I mean, I could tell you how much I could sit there and say it was badass looking, but I couldn't tell you about the styles they use or anything else like that. So I
Hmm.
don't necessarily think my reviews will be something that people really, because they want to know,
Well, I mean, it depends. I would like to see a martial arts review from someone who doesn't know martial art. It's kind of like me. I don't know jack shit about Hallmark films and stuff like that, but I'll talk about them. I like seeing that outsider's view
yeah, the
sometimes
output, yeah,
because
yeah,
that way, maybe they're not showing favoritism. You know what I mean? Or,
you can't
they
get
should have done this better or they should have done that better. If you don't know jack shit about martial arts, you won't know that this was impossible to do or they shot that wrong. You're just enthralled by the action.
yeah,
And that, to me, that makes it more relatable. That's why I always tell my friends, or anybody I interview, I said, I just have bullet points. And if we go off on tangents, do it because that's more natural. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. Like there are times when you and me, when we were interviewing Adam, you had your bullet points, but we went off on so many tangents and stuff like that, and it was fun and it was more natural that you're just talking to somebody.
yeah.
Like
That's the best kind
who
of
would have
interview.
thought? Like we had to do the required Jason Goes to Hell stuff, right? But
Right.
who knew that we would get starting with the director of Jason Goes to Hell? We would talk about how
The dogfight was
yeah,
between
him and Val
Cunningham and
Kilmer.
Miller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who
Oh yeah,
we
the Val Kilmer. That we sparked that. He
yeah,
right after he came on us, right after he came on our did our interview, the next day on his Instagram, he went off that big tangent about
yep,
telling the stories about Val Kilmer.
mhm,
I thought that was interesting. I thought that
yeah,
I really liked that. I thought it was powerful. I was
mhm.
like, wow, that's so cool.
But if it's like, that's what I love about, going on tangents. Who would have thought that we're talking to the director of Jason Goes to Hell, we'd also end up talking about his art, the bad, instance where he had to work with Val, and he didn't pull punches. He talked about how Val Kilmer was a pain in the ass to work with, but we also talked about him, in college and this and that, and it was just it was so much fun just having a natural flowing conversation, and that's what draws me in more. You know what I mean? Because you'll have a lot of times you'll have these interviewers when their subject is in the middle of a sentence, cut them off to try to bring them back. No, just let them flow, dude. Let them go. Let them tell their stories.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, sometimes, yeah, he's a great speaker. He's
Oh
a
yeah.
great speaker. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed talking to him. Then we had Deborah Sullivan come on, and we did that show too, and she was sensational.
Oh yeah. She's
Very,
cool as
very
hell.
cool. She was very cool, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. I've been waiting for the documentary to come out, and
Mm-hmm.
then when it was, I'm definitely going to go ahead and see if he wants to come out and hang out again.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I
Um,
am, yeah, I am part of his crowdfunding. I just gave enough money just to get the physical copy. I didn't need any of the other perks. But what I like about that is we get constant emails. He went on a live stream and explained to everybody. He said COVID shut, well, we said it in our interview with him. COVID, he was doing everything in person, all these interviews in person. He would go and meet these people, and then COVID shut it down. So he had that, and then after he finished it, there's all the legal red tape and this and that. So he wanted it to come out last year for the 30th anniversary, but
right. Yeah.
it just COVID screwed it up. The legal stuff screwed it up. But he says it's pretty much almost finished. So it seems like, because he's going to take it to some festivals and show it and stuff like that, it seems like it might be available by the end of the year, and I cannot fucking wait, dude,
I can't
for
wait
that.
either. That is a very fun movie. I don't,
Hmm.
I always liked Jason Goes to Hell. I thought it was, I always thought it was so cool. And I really, the last scene of Freddy grabbing the hat, the
Hmm.
mask. I mean, God, everybody in the theater was like so amped up with that. And,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is like, what's really cool about that is, and I don't understand the fan hatred for it either, too, because it's like, every single Jason movie after 4 is like that. It's off the rail. It's all of them are off the rail. There's none of them that are like I said this when me and Al did our review. Our overview was, look, the first 4 movies are the best of the series. There's no doubt about that. It's the first
Hmm.
4.
Hmm.
Everything after that is just fantasy. It's fun.
It's
You know,
just, I get it. I do
yeah,
get the hate. I do get the hate 100% because it's not a Jason movie. It's not. It's not a Jason movie. I get that. And a lot of people, they don't like change, and then they don't like change when it's so absurd. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of weird shit. Not just the body hopping. There's the part where, the guy is strapped down and shaved, and all this and that. That was Adam just saying he wanted it. He literally said, I want a what the fuck moment. So we threw that in there. You know what I mean? And
right.
I can get that. It turns people off. So I get that. But the way I look at it is I want to sit down for 90 minutes and with any movie
Yeah,
and be
I never have
entertained
a
and be
problem with it.
entertained. And this movie from beginning to end is just fun for me. I get
I,
the hate, 100%.
I mean,
But what I don't get is like people are saying, they hate this movie because their main reason they hate that movie is because Jason isn't in it.
but
Okay,
Jason is in it.
he's technically in it, body hopping, but they don't like that he's not in. We don't physically get to see him for more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But they love part five when he's not in it at all.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's just it's just if you hate Jason Goes to Hell and you have like legitimate reasons, you don't like the body hopping. There's too much, sex and gore. It's just not your cup of tea. God bless you. You changing the mythology. I get that 100%. But when you're also saying, I hate how they changed the mythology of Jason Goes to Hell, but I fucking love Halloween 6 with the Cult of Thorn and the Druids and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, how am I
I know
supposed to take you
it's
seriously
hard.
when you
It's
bring up
hard. It's
something
hard.
like when you bring up
Right.
something like mythology? That's a big word. Okay, the mythology of Michael Myers. He is this killer shark and baggy ass overalls, like Buster Rhymes says, but he is this unstoppable killing machine. We don't know why, and that's why a lot of people didn't like Rob's movies. 100% understand that and get that. But then when you add in this Cult of Thorn, and he only comes out on Halloween because the fucking stars align in some certain bullshit. You love that, but then you hate Jason Goes to Hell because of that mythology. You gotta picking and
It's hard.
choosing.
It's hard to take someone seriously when they
Right.
come out there like that, and they'll fan one movie like that and at the expense of the other. It's
Mm-hmm.
like to me, every Friday the 13th movie after 4, it's just pure. Like Adam said, he, basically it was left up to, it was left up to him where he wanted to take his movie. They didn't have
Mm-hmm.
anything for him. They said, here, you're 21 years old. Here, you got to chase the movie. Go with it.
Yeah.
He was
21 years
21 years
old.
old.
21 years old, right out of film school. Sean said, "Take the hockey mask out of the movie. Go."
Yeah.
And Adam was
And
like,
then,
"Okay, fuck it.
yeah.
We're gonna go balls to the wall with this shit." And what I liked about him is that he was equal opportunity. He's talking about how, that's what I dig about Adam. He's like, all these movies are full of, women being nude. This had the most male nudity in it. He says, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make it equal opportunity. I'm gonna make people uncomfortable. I'm gonna have weird WTF moments, not just when Josh was getting shaved, but the whole Creighton Duke with the little girl and the donut type of stuff. All these weird moments, but he did it in such a fun way. But
Val says here, he says, Eric, what the thorn,
the
what
Thorn
thorn?
Cult, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest though, they took a chance. I appreciate that, and that's really what it is with Jason Goes to Hell. He took a chance. He came up with a really cool idea.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Jason got his ass kicked in for the second worst in the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
He got his ass kicked. First comes from Jason X. Stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just absolutely a ball of fun.
Yeah.
And
then, like I said, I get it. I 100% understand why people don't like that film. That's great. But trust me, when you also have these YouTubers saying it's the worst movie they've ever seen, then you really need to go on Tubi or something like that.
You need to go see Hereditary is what you need to do.
Or maybe Skinamarink.
What?
But what I'm saying is,
shots fired.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, Jason Goes to Hell is the worst horror movie you've ever seen. Have you ever seen a fucking Puppet Master movie? Have you ever seen Demonic?
The Puppet Master 2 is really good.
Yeah, but I'm using that as an example. Have you ever seen fucking Demonic Toys? Come on.
Hell yeah.
But those are air quotes bad movies themselves. You really need to open yourself up. If the Nightmare on Elm Street remake is the worst horror movie you've ever seen, boy, then have you only seen like a dozen movies? There are plenty of worse movies out there.
Yeah, I mean,
broaden your horizons, and then you'll be like, man, I was really mean to Jason X. Jason X isn't so bad after watching these two films. Watch River of Darkness that I just watched. Okay. And then I guarantee you'd rather watch Jason X.
I've said the same thing. So shots fired. See, when you mentioned Skinamarink, I knew it. Now man says, "What? I like Hereditary." Well, I'm glad one of you guys do.
But see, like Neil says, Evil Bong or Ginger Dead Man. Okay, here's the thing. You think Jason Goes to Hell is bad? It's the worst thing you ever. You sit down and watch The Ginger Dead Man, a movie about Gary Busey as a bank robber who is shot and killed. His blood goes into cookie dough and he becomes a killer gingerbread man.
Never, ever.
You sit down and watch that.
Oh,
and you say that Jason Goes to Hell is the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
And there are people, I love my trash movies. I love my garbage. You know what I mean? I did not think I was going to love Puppet Master the Littlest Reich. I had so much fun with that.
What about the second one though?
The only Puppet Master movie I saw was Puppet Master the Littlest Reich, and that was from 2018. That was the reboot. But what I'm saying is there's so much more bad movies out there than, Friday the 13th Part 5 or whatever one they want to hate on or something like that. You need to broaden your horizons. Trust me, there's a lot more. Go to anything by Full Moon or anything by Wild Eye. You know what I mean? There's a lot worse out there.
Let's see. We'll see. The chat here says, "Have you seen an Evil Bong?" Yeah, no. I'm saying that now, but all of a sudden I'm afraid to probably open myself up for one of the five. And that's
Maybe.
all right. But remember, I've only named one of my good shark movies. But if I see if I see that on mine, I'm gonna shark you to death.
Hey, you know what? I'd rather take the shots fired, dude. That makes it more fun. But
Uh, Puppet Master 2 is my favorite one so far.
mhm,
Yes, Dan.
okay.
I'm only saying that. I'm only saying Puppet Master 2 is the best one
Hmm.
because there was an actress in that should have been an absolutely huge screen queen,
I think you've
and
mentioned that before. Yeah.
yeah, never happened. I was like shocked. I was like I mean, I thought it was Taylor May. Taylor
Hmm.
May.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Val says, "I'm glad you suggested that one. It was so good." Oh, you're watching Jane Doe or the
The
autopsy of
Autopsy of
Jane
Jane
Doe?
Doe. I
What are you
want.
guys watching that?
I want to see that one too because I really like the director. He directed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I
Right,
loved. He directed Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I thought was great.
right.
I haven't seen Troll Hunter yet. Um, because with my daughter and work, it's hard to pay attention to movies that have subtitles. You know, usually by the time she goes to bed, I'm too freaking tired. But he also directed Autopsy of Jane Doe. Plus, it's got Brian Cox in it, and I fucking love Brian Cox.
Brian Cox is
He he is
yeah.
so good, dude. So
Well, let me. I didn't know that you guys had not. I did not know that you guys had not seen this. But let me help you guys out of here a little bit. Hold on. I wonder who pulled. I think that was Ben. I think Ben did that one. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it was Ben. Let me drop this in the chat here just in case you guys want to see it. And that would be awesome. But we covered the autopsy of Jane Doe and
okay.
the ISC show. So if you guys want to check that out, that was our view. That was our commentary, our deep dive on the autopsy of Jane Doe. And
Okay.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with that movie. That movie was great.
Yeah.
Man, we've only had one movie. I think I mentioned this to you before. We have only had one movie in that entire series that I would sit there and say was sort of like, eh,
Yeah.
it's just, but every other movie that we watched, I have personally really, really liked a
Okay.
lot. Um, and
What was the bad movie?
Welcome to Willits.
Okay.
I just, it was okay, but I mean, comparison to what ISC Midnight releases,
Mhm.
it sort of fell short. It really did. I mean, it's okay.
Mhm.
I mean, any other company put it out, they'd probably be happy with it.
Mhm.
But when you go back there, and the things that we found out too, like we found out when we did Bear Country or Back Country, like
Mhm.
we didn't know this. We didn't know this till we started investigating it. That a Back Country was produced by Yui Boll.
See, he's another guy, and I think no offense to anyone else, my opinion, I think he's your biggest get for your interview series.
Really?
Only, me on a personal level because I love Adam, you know what I mean. But I've only seen two of his movies, this
Right.
and Secret Santa. I have been a huge lover and defender of Uwe Boll
Yeah.
ever since the first House of the Dead. He's another guy, that he has this reputation of making shitty air quotes movies.
His movies are
Okay,
not all
okay.
shitty at all.
Now I don't like every single one of them. I'll say that I was not a fan of Alone in the Dark, but I love House of the
I
Dead is
love
so much
Alone in the
fun.
Dark. You didn't like that?
I might not have been in the right mood either because it is
Oh,
kind of very slow moving in places. But I love House of the Dead. That's so much fun. Its sequel is a lot of fun that he
yeah.
helped produce.
I have the sequel.
The Blood Rain movies are fun as hell. The second one, when she is in the Old West and she is taking on a vampire, Billy the Kid, played by Zach Ward, and her sidekick is Pat Garrett. That stuff is fun. Postal is a lot of fun. That movie is not for everybody, but that's a lot of fun. And what I love about Uwe is he's just got this I don't give a shit if you hate me attitude. You know what I
No,
mean? And that's what I can appreciate because he doesn't, you know him, you talk to him. He doesn't walk on eggshells.
no. It's funny too because during that famous documentary where
Hmm.
he's showing fighting those four critics,
Hmm.
one
Raging
of them was,
Bull, yeah.
yeah, Raging Bull. Well, one of those is a friend of mine, and
Hmm.
after many years, He's going to come onto the show in May,
Oh,
and that's
really?
yes, that's Chris Alexander. He was a former editor in chief of Fangoria,
Okay.
and he currently is he currently is the editor in chief of Delirium.
Hmm.
So he's going to come onto the show in May on May 21st.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about that a little
Yeah.
bit.
I like I said, Uva is also one of those, doesn't give a crap
No,
attitudes. He's got
I like.
he's got two documentaries out. He's got one out, called Raging Bull, which is talking about, him taking on the critics. And then he's literally got one that's called You Uva Bowl F You All, fuck you all. And it's just about all the he doesn't seem like he's the easiest director to work with. But guess what? Neither is Jim Cameron. James
Yeah,
Cameron's a well-known asshole to work for
yeah,
too. So what's the
very much.
difference?
Yeah,
James
very much.
Cameron just has, the $1 billion budget. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
what I
I
like
think
about
yeah, Beauty Bowl. I think I mean I remember I remember watching Alone in the Dark, which I like that movie.
okay.
I watched in the Name of the King in the Name of the King Dungeon 2
Oh, the
Dungeon.
second one
Yes,
with Dolph Lundgren.
that movie is a lot better. I mean, he got himself a really great performance from two actors.
Hmm.
Um, Dolph Lundgren was really good in that, and
Hmm.
there was a Canadian actor named Alex Bond
Okay.
that was in there, and he stole the movie. He
Yeah.
stole the damn movie.
Really.
Then we had Lachlan Monroe, who was just there having a good time. He was just
Hmm.
chewing up the scenery. But that one movie was so interesting and was so well done. I mean, for the budget,
Hmm.
you could definitely tell the budget was really, really small.
Hmm.
But it looked like the budget of a episode of Hercules.
Hmm.
Um, but it was really fun, and the
Hmm.
acting, he got great acting jobs out of Dolph Lundgren. Dolph
That
Lundgren was really good in that movie.
that says a lot. And I love me some Dolph, but he's not a thespian. You know what I mean?
He's gotten
And
better as he gotten older. He's gotten way better,
okay.
way better.
I really liked him in the second Creed movie because
I heard he's great in that.
he makes Drago a sympathetic character. He's kind of sympathetic in Rocky 4 because you can tell that it's his government pulling the strings and he's just the poster boy. But this one, he's down in the dumps. Brigitte Nielsen has left him. Russia has spurned him, and his life has gone to hell. And you see it in his face, in his performance. Again, it's very low key because Ivan doesn't speak a lot, but Dolph is really, really good in the second Creed film.
I think I've said this before too. A lot of the let's see, let me go over here. Let's see, have you covered the Watcher on? No, not yet, not yet. I want to. I really want to watch that. Hopefully, I can get a copy of that movie, Mayan. I already know the next movie I'm going to be. Yeah, Mr. Dana Hoare mentioned in The Alone in the Dark with Christian Slater. Yep, I enjoyed that movie.
I might not have been in the right mood. I'm always now like every movie deserves a second chance. You know what I mean?
Even Wheezy Shark. Uh,
Watch it. I don't think so, but I the fact that I'm watching the sequel, I already know that's penciled in. I know for a fact. But
no, I think we're doing Rust Creek tomorrow.
mm-hmm.
We're covering Rust Creek. That movie blew the hell up on Netflix. They
Okay.
put it on Netflix. That movie was like massively huge. It was like, I wouldn't say it was Suits big,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in the same zip code.
Okay.
So it was very, very. It's still popular with on Netflix. Hugely popular. So we're covering that one tomorrow. Mary Wilson picked that one out, and then we'll see what I think Ben is up tomorrow, and I think Ben's always picking some great movies. Ben picks some great movies out. We all do though.
Yeah.
Like I picked out let's see, Haas picked out he picked out a Crow's Nest, and he also picked out one of the best movies that we've done so far. That was The Den.
Okay.
Man, but I got the spiritual sister to that movie though, and I think that's the movie I'm going to be talking about. I've been thinking about this, but the more I thought about it, the more yeah, I need to bring this one to the party because this movie is absolutely bonkers, and it's called Bound to Vengeance.
Okay.
That movie is insane. That is one of the most insane movies I saw. I watched it and I reviewed it for my 31 Days of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I also watched and reviewed a movie called Christie.
Okay.
They could. I swear, the Den, Christie, and Bound for Vengeance all could have been all the same universe. You could put them on the theater and
Okay.
screen it,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't know when one movie ended and the other one started. It was really, really good. But I'm glad they're covering Jane Doe. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. May mentions let's see. May says she saw The Watcher, said it was so good. I really want to. Mr. You just got Pie Wacket and Wilding. Wilding's really good. Pie Wacket, man, I had a hard time with Pie Wacket. It's excellent acting. The acting's excellent. It's so good. Laurie Holden is in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie frustrates me. It
Really?
frustrates me. Yeah, but I can't say why. Neon, when you watch that movie, come back and talk to us about it. I'm gonna see if you can pick up why I was frustrated with it. It's really well acted though. Really, I gotta say it's one of the stronger ones, which is why it was so frustrating because it's a really good movie. So what the hell happened? But yeah. It's on AMC Plus and Hulu. Okay, I have to. Hopefully it'll transfer. I don't know. Probably won't transfer for a while, but hopefully it'll get to the Tubi. I know that Tubi has some IFC movies out there as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I've actually found one on my library hall this week. I found an IFC movie. I was so tickled because they're so freaking hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
They're just hard to find. Yeah. Okay. Rust Creek or The Watchers. If you do Rust Creek, you can come in and hang out with us tomorrow on my channel. Mary Wilson's leading the discussion, but we're going to be talking about Rust Creek. And I'm trying to work up a surprise too, but I don't think it'll happen. But I'm trying to get a surprise for us. Yeah. You know what? Our hour went to 2 hours, mister.
Yeah, I know. I'll just stay. I'll just stay for like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. This always fucking happens, dude.
I don't think it ever happens with you and me.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever happens. So, and I'm sitting here looking at the same banner I'm supposed to be making 2 hours ago.
I was thinking, I was thinking to myself when I was looking at the time because I got to get ready to get going. But I was thinking, isn't Patrick supposed to be working right now too?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be doing a banner for the review. For the guest person I got coming.
But here's the thing. We'll circle it back. That's why this isn't an interview. This is just two people bullshitting. But it's like going off on tangents. It just makes it more natural and more fun. You know what I mean? So
nope. Good night, Mr. Dan. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and call it a good night here for us too.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys all for coming out and hanging out for a pop-up.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of fun. We got deep a little bit. And of course, anytime I'll tell you what I did too. So I'm doing real quick. This is my last one. So I'm doing Movie Swap on May 8th over at Dell on Movies channel, right?
Okay.
So the gimmick, the thing, what he did is that each person gets a list of 10 movies from the other.
Okay.
And then you find out the movie that you haven't watched. You pick it. You tell him, I'm gonna watch this movie, and you give it to him. So you know me, I like IFC, right. So I'm thinking I gotta send him 10 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what better way what better way to guarantee some IFC action than I sent him my list of 10 IFC movies. So you had to pick an IFC movie to review.
Hey, it worked. It works.
I'm going like, yeah, let me go ahead and see what let me go see, see if he picked that up. I'm going like, did you catch the Easter egg I sent you? And he goes, no. And then he goes, I got it. I see what you did. It was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thank you so much too, Lady Valerie. I appreciate it so much. This is a lot of fun. And,
it was a good night. It was good to see the chat too. Val and
Yeah,
Dan and May and everybody.
Normally, like I said, normally we wouldn't be doing this right now because we would have been doing we basically took the slot that the House of Horrors was in, but they did their show earlier, and the interview of Bill Obrest Jr. Highly recommend watching that on the replay. I'll be pushing it on my community tab, and God bless Steven. He works really hard on this show.
Yeah,
I hats off to him. He busts his ass.
he's a good dude. That's the one
He is
thing.
a
He's a
good
legit good dude. That's what I
He
like
really
about him.
is. He's a really underrated horror tuber.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad. I was really glad to see him get it. Next week he's got my old friend Mike Ferguson coming to his show, and I'll be there for that too. Mike Ferguson is an absolute hoot, and he's forming his own film company.
Okay.
And so I'm sure they'll be talking about that next week. I'll be having Mike on probably in June sometime. But yeah. All right. So tomorrow night, 8:00, here on this channel for Rust Creek. Eric, what's coming out on your channel this week?
Well, I will just say this. Everything on my channel is going to be movies I've never, ever seen before for the entire year, unless somebody requests Eric talk Ghost Ship. I'll talk Ghost Ship, but it's going to be movies I've never seen before. And this whole month has been movies that either my buddy Alex from the old podcast days, he was either surprised I had never seen or just wanted to know my opinion. So I've uploaded videos on the Nicole Kidman 1983 classic BMX Bandits. That was actually a lot of fun. The movie The Guest from 2014.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. I uploaded Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich. Give that one a shot. You can see how animated I am in that review. I'm very proud of that review because of how much I enjoyed the film. I just uploaded The Invisible Man from 2020. I discussed that one. First time ever seen, a lot of people are surprised, first time ever seen Willow happen this past week from 1988. And Invisible Man, that was really good. And I uploaded my thoughts on, is Willow worth the hype? Spoilers, liked it. And today, the probably the only piece of garbage so far that I've seen for Alex was River of Darkness. I uploaded that literally as we just went live. I joined you, so that is now official to watch. You go. I would appreciate that one. Get views, for my pain and suffering. But I'm going to end April because it was his birthday month. That's why I was doing this for him. I'm going to end on a movie that he's always wanted me to see. It'll be uploaded Tuesday. I haven't watched the film. I'm going to watch it tonight. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage. It's Charlie Kaufman film. He wants to know my thoughts on that one. And then I'm going to start doing unboxings. I'm going to try to get back into the interview series. I've got people lined up. I might have Patrick on. And like I said, the rest of the year is just movies I've never ever seen. I might, I'm going to jump into the Wreck franchise. I'm going to do Puppet Master, and just, Slapshot's going to be one that I thought, a lot of people love that movie. I'm going to discuss that. So it's just been a lot of fun.
Movie. That is hilarious. I think they made like 4 or 5 of them.
Did they really?
covered Mystery Alaska a few weeks ago.
Okay.
That was also about hockey with Russell Crowe.
Okay.
That was a really good movie too. That movie had a lot of heart to it.
Yeah.
I've forgotten how much. And if you do Ghost Ship, that's awesome. Ghost Ship is really, really good.
Well, I think we're going to, because I know that's one of my wife and I's go-to horror movies. You know what I mean? It's just fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. It's like I've said, like I say this in my River of Darkness review. If you're watching a movie that was straight to video starring Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash, you gotta have a mind frame. It's like going into Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck isn't gonna be the fucking Godfather. You know what I mean? So you have to have the right mind frame, and sometimes that helps. You'll see in my River of Darkness review. Sometimes it definitely doesn't.
Sometimes those wrestlers will surprise you. I know that Edge surprised me. He did a movie based in New Orleans. He played a private eye.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty good. And then John Moxley, I think he was in the Marine 3 or 4.
I think he was in. I think he was. Yeah, now the Miz is doing all of them, and just because it's a wrestler doesn't mean it's bad. You know what I mean?
No,
But
no.
when your biggest names are like Kevin Nash and Kurt Angle, it could be good. It could be good, but
Didn't do Dallas didn't do Dallas Diamond Page, didn't he do some Rob Zombie movies?
he was in the Devil's Rejects. He was the partner of Danny Trejo. They were the unholy two, the bounty hunters that captured the Firefly family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys all for coming out. Me too. I love Willow too. Joanne Wally at the time was like the cat's meow. She was
Yes.
Torta, torta.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Thank you so much for coming out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Those who can make it, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock for Rust Creek. Until then, thank you so much, and we will talk at you guys later. Peace.
Cheers.